Alright, how's it going, everybody? Let's get her done. We're going to try to do 8,000 on this board, which is a Z690 Ors Master. Currently using Hynix M die 2x24, so 48GB kit. And this kit is by Corsair Dominator Titaniums. Not a cheap kit, but you can get cheaper. So we're going to try to do 8,000. Currently we are set at 7,800 megatransfers per second. And we're trying to do some Geekbench 3. We're trying to get over 15,000 on the memory for the memory multi-core test on Geekbench 3. Hey, not bad. How about you, man? Hopefully we're stable. If we're stable at this, that's good. I also tuned the voltages and some tunings already for this test. Still got a green screen in the BIOS for some reason. I updated all the firmwares, updated all the BIOS, so I don't know. I have no clue. So not stable enough to run this test. That's alright. And we're recording K-mode exception not handled. Voltage, that's CPU voltage actually. Okay, so that's easy enough to fix. So the question is that mobile savable? So how do you update BIOS? Your B550M bazooka there should have a Q flash, right? So there's a spot where you can just download the latest BIOS. By the looks of it, it's fairly up to date, but you want to go into the motherboard manufacturer. So yours is MSI, right? Yeah, 7800, and that was 3.5, just to make sure we're stable throughout the test. Yeah, set everything 1.4, 1.4, 1.5 on the RAM, 1.515 on the VDDQ80. Does help out a bit. Yeah, MSI. Okay, so you want to go to MSI's page, search up your board. So the MSI B550M bazooka. Figure out the latest BIOS. And you gotta have to have a USB flash drive. You download it to the USB flash drive. You're gonna have to save it as a different kind of name. You have to save it as whatever they specify. They'll specify what you name it as in the actual USB. So after you download it, you just save it, rename it. Fairly easy to do. You plug it into the certain slot onto the motherboard, hit the Q flash, and the Q flash will do it all for you. Not too difficult to do on. I'm pretty sure it has a Q flash or something like a Q flash for that motherboard. And to save that other motherboard, if it's that one you're talking about, you can just solder the two ends. So there's two ends on the PCI slot. So there'll be two ends, one side, one the other side. Those are just solder down points. You don't technically have to solder the other points as long as you can get everything contacting back down to the board proper, which you just have to solder the two ends on either side down, because those are just pins that go through the board. They're through pins, and you just solder those ones, make sure it's held down nice, let it cool down, and it should hold. Since you're not using it either, it should be no problem to do it that way. Just don't make sure you don't put too much heat to it, basically. You just want to make sure you see some solder solidifying, so you don't want to melt any of the plastic around the board. It's not easy to do, but if you have a soldering gun, it's a lot easier too. You just solder, push it down, add a little bit of solder to the soldering tip, hold it to the end of the tip until you see the solder make contact and actual, like, let go from the soldering tip to the actual pin. And you let go, let it cool, and it should hold. Yep, it has a button for the flash, whatever it is. Q flash is on Gigabyte, I know that. As long as it has that. We don't need that. We'll disable enhancement on And I'll just auto. And we want this 100. Just to make sure. We're only on peak cores right now because we want max frequency on this test. Because I thought this test was all about CPU multi-core. It's not. This is a memory test. So what I was talking about yesterday with the, if you get over 14,000 on the actual memory multi, you have a good memory kit. So I have to beat 16,642 or 43. Not easy. So I probably won't be able to beat it, but I'm going to see if I can get over 15,000. If I can get over 15,000, awesome. I would definitely have to get over 8,000 mega transfers per second with some decent timings on these Hynix M die. So now my PC is off. The bottleneck is the most annoying thing ever. Yeah, it is. Yeah, bottlenecks aren't fun. You gotta deal with it though, man. You just gotta deal with it. And not unless you want to spend thousands of dollars to get a whole new system. Okay, easy. Should be able to boot up. It's got to deal with you. Yeah, you can always do some tuning too to help out. Hey, what up there, Professor? Yeah, I've already told him, but he doesn't have a an actual heat gun to do that. Yeah, I've already told him that. And there's also, like I said, 2 pins on one side, 2 pins on the other that are throughput pins just to hold down the actual PCIe slot to the board. Once you contact those over, you can do each individual pins throughout the whole PCIe slot, and that will fix your issue or make it easier for you. Just yeah, he doesn't actually have a heat gun right now, so that's the downfall right now. Hopefully everything looks fairly decent. I still got the green screen on the BIOS screen for some reason, but I updated all the firmware, updated everything, and it's still doing it. Even plugged in both USB to the actual EVGA card and capture card, but still. How's it going there, Dad? How's everybody's night going? Yeah, right now, 7,800. I've gotten 8,000 working, but it's making it so I can get decent times. The guy that's got the 16,000, yeah, 16,642 points or something like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely maddening. We'll raise this to 46 just to help out. We'll raise this to 52. Raise this to 52. And we'll raise this to 120. We'll put this to auto. 1,000. It's not good. Definitely not good to do this, but like for timings, you don't want to have these kind of timings. Not good. I even raised a bunch of timings to get things more stable, and oh, it's not liking me. It's not liking me. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, gotcha. I'm trying to figure out where Q is. I got some voltages and some tuning for his 5600X. Haven't seen him around lately. I do a lot, by the way. I do a lot. I remember everything, don't worry. 1.4 is fine. What about actual voltages here? 30. That's fine. There's 7,800. 7,800 so far. We'll see how it goes. Again, apologies about the green screen in the BIOS. It's not actually green. It just does it in the BIOS. I've set all the parameters, done every kind of thing I can. It just, in the BIOS, it does this. You gotta go for it. Yeah, the 5800X is pretty good. Pretty good CPU. Especially since you have the motherboards for it, technically. I would still go with Intel. Intel, if you're listening, sponsor me. Yeah, they're cheap, but not cheap enough for me to buy a new 13900K or 14900K. I would love to get another one, of course. I could probably get close to this score easily. I don't think the actual memory getting higher frequencies is going to help me. This is a 4-DIMM board. This is just a Z690 ORS Master. I don't have a Asus Apex board, which you kind of need, or a Tai Chi, some Tai Chi motherboards. ASRock, ASRock. The Tai Chis are also really good. A KS, man. A KS, I'd be absolutely balling. I'd be balling, man. Throw that into an Asus Apex board, and I'd probably get 8800 mega transfers per second, no problem. So it's not like in that. That's fine. It's just because of these down here. I'll let these go to auto. Let them figure out what it wants to do. I'll just let it do its thing. Should load up actually pretty quick after this one. Ooh, I should make sure it's on 6 cores. I might actually accidentally left that on. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, my other motherboard is waiting for a CPU and it's ready to go. Nice. Nice. To be honest, I wouldn't mind a 13600K either. This 12600K is the beast of overclocking this RAM, to be honest. Like, it beats out some 13900Ks for actual frequency on 4-DIMM boards. F, restart. I might not have set a parameter on it. Oops, that would have been me. Yeah, looks like we're going back in the BIOS. Yeah, okay. And we'll check over some things here. Enhanced TVV. I like usually having that on. Voltage reduction enabled. Okay, I do have them off. That's good. These should all be 5.2. Yep. I had an Apex die code 00 Asus deny my RMA because of a bent fan pin on the header. Really? Because of a bent fan header? That's... wow. Talk about being stingy. That's just being stingy. Like, they can easily just throw that into a quick fix and sell it for a couple $100 less, and they'd be just fine. Make the customer happy too. And the Apex boards right now are absolutely insane for price. Like, you're still looking at over $1,000 Canadian used. Used. Absolute bull. Alright, we're getting rid of max performance. Default. Probably my issue. Let's check out my timings again, make sure everything looks good. 46. I could raise it to 48. Oh, 48. 52, 52, 120. Let's do 40 on that. 1,000. I don't generally have to go this high with the TRFC, but I'm trying to hit stable 7800 through the test, and I'll try out 8,000, see if it's actually stable. And I'll save profiles to this one. I'll rename that later. It is wild. Yeah, the socket died, not the fan header, and the fan header does not go to the socket. I would, yeah, that was me yesterday on the stream getting to 60,000 on the multi. Yes. We're fixing up the GTX 770 there. Yeah, I would be throwing some air punches too, bud. Alright, so hopefully this is stable. Passing 31 code. C2, 3, 4, all the dim pass. Come on, I like to see certain codes. Let's see them. It'll sit at 31 for a second. If it passes on, that's awesome. If it restarts, that's not good. Come on. Come on. I want to see 8,000 on this stream. I've gotten 8,000 to work, but it's not easy, and I want some decent timings. The timings that I had on the 8,000 on this board before is absolute trash, and I can't have the trash timings. I have to have some decent timings. Back to 31. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Show me the money. Nope. He doesn't like me right now. That's okay. That is just fine. Hopefully the stream looks good. I'm technically streaming at 4K. Technically, because everything's at 4K. Because I thought, send it to the actual throughput to make sure everything looks good. But I don't know. Let me know. Hopefully it is. Should show my system too. My coolant's all pink now. Looks fire. Yeah, except for this. This doesn't look fire. This looks like trash. It's green. I can't figure it out why it does this to me. It's like, why did you do this to me? What did I do to you? Did I hurt your feelings? It's only a 6400. That's for my other test. That's for my other test, and I'll leave it at that. I do have a gaming set mode though. Nope, that's for the other test. So here's CL36. 52, 78 default. Everything looks good. Fine, we'll go to default voltages too, see if that helps. Probably not though. Whoa. Keep hitting buttons here. It's not good. If you can see, it's still okay. I would not mind this. Okay. It's just a green feature on Giga. I think it is. I don't know why. Everything looks so good as soon as it boots into Windows. I also had an ASUS Maximus X Extreme die. They did approve the RMA on that one, but they sent me 3 broken boards before sending me a good one. It took over 2 months to get one working. What? What? It just, yeah. Probably the capture card. No, I just did all the firmware on the capture card. It's not the capture card, and I've done it set up the way the capture card EVGA actually prefers. Both USB into the motherboard and plugged into the actual capture card USB-C. Before I had only just one USB plugged in, USB 3.1, but I plugged in both and it's still doing it. Updated the firmware, everything's done. Updated drivers on graphics cards, they're fine. I honestly don't know. I actually don't know. No, I keep right-clicking. My fingers are cold, so I keep right-clicking. It's not that bad, actually, in here right now. It's 8 degrees. Dave's here, saying, and he's smiling, so I should be smiling more, too. Okay, everything looks good. I'm actually happy with that, but... Boom, boom, boom. That's fine. Everything looks good. Yeah, it's an EVGA XR1 Pro. So that way I can do pass-through 4K at 60 frames and still do my recordings at least 2K at 120 frames per second. What did you delete? I was about to read that, Professor. Maybe just this model that do that. I don't know. Never. No, a lot of people apparently had this issue with it, and then they fixed it with updating the drivers and that. But they're also using it on like Xboxes and PlayStation 3s. And then a lot of people are getting this green screen mode and getting mad on the BIOS for PCs. I don't mind, in my opinion, because yeah, you can still read it. It's just if I get new people in here, they're going, "Oh, he has broken stuff. He's using broken stuff." No, it's not broken. It just has a bad feature, I guess. Everything's fine. Everything's chill. I just want to run through, make sure all these settings are set right. I should put that up too when I do my next 3D Mark 01. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Let's try this out. Never own or use capture, so don't really know. Yeah. Yeah, damn EVGA. Yeah. I like EVGA. I love EVGA. Only really the graphics cards, but I figured I'd try this capture card out since it was so cheap. It's almost like $110 off, or $130 off after the, whatchamacallit, the coupon that I got. I don't pay Zeus anymore. About your capture card, tried to sell me 420 mode. 420 mode? How the hell would I disable 420 mode? I don't know how to do that. Let's just get the manual. 4C. Yeah, look at the codes, see if we're working. I'll hold 4C for a bit. Yeah, OD. Good. It's overdosing! No! Oh yeah, I think in the box of the 3080 it has a coupon for that one. Yeah, probably would still be good. Did I put back in the box? Might put back in the box. Come on. 4C again. Oh, doesn't look good. Does not look promising. Oh, I thought so, man. I thought so. I took you to the... Wow. Calm down, camera. Calm down. I know. I'm so bright. Kind of figured it was a joke, but I mean, come on. You know me. I take things kind of literal sometimes. Unless you don't know... What, 420? Yeah. 420! Well, it does go down to like 480 or something like that, 480p or something like that, so who knows. But it's literally, everything's recording at, or streaming technically from 4K, monitor set at 4K, only because I got my 3070 Ti in so I can use the encoder. 34, oh, it's passing. It's passing. Ah, it failed as soon as I was about to go into the picking up. Okay, calm down, PC. I gotta figure out, probably turn off a couple modes for memory modes. Probably will have to turn those off. We'll see. That's just fine, Yeah, I just don't get it. Maybe it is my old graphics card that's making it do it. I thought it was the monitor for a bit, but it's not. Even when I do through the pass-through, so I just hooked up the PC and then hooked up to the pass-through to the actual monitor, still does the green screen. So maybe it's just a feature. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it needs a firmware update or, you know, a new kind of BIOS. And yeah, I did it all. I did it twice, and yeah, it still does it the same. That's why I was kind of late for the stream. But that's okay. We're gonna get shit done. Should I do the 7600 to that test? Yeah. Let's do that. Hyper-threading, we disable that. We gotta disable that. It's no good. It's no good. We have to have just P-cores. Just P cores. There we go. I don't generally, I'll just leave it on those auto. 7600, no, we want 7800 minimum for now. Gear mode 2. I'm going to try gear mode 4, but gear mode 4 has been broken for DDR5. Only a couple people have gotten gear mode 4 done, but it's on liquid nitrogen, so I don't know if I can do it or not. We'll have to try that out. And we'll put this to 48. We'll do my tight timings on it, because I'm pretty sure I can get my tight timings done on it, and it'll be okay. We can put TFOP to 24. We'll put this up to 32. Help stabilize a little bit. 8, 8, 8, 8. We'll put this up to 24 as well. Just to help stabilize some things. If you want to look at some timings, these will be fairly decent timings that will work for you if you want to go back on the stream, look at over them or not. But yeah, those should be okay. I was like, no ways for 20 setting. Yeah, you got me with the gear thing. Short explanation. You want me to do a short explanation? Okay, gear mode 1, 1-to-1 for RAM. Gear mode 2, 2-to-1. Gear mode 4, 4-to-1. That is as short as I can do. Does not explain much, but that's as short as I can do without going into full detail. It helps stabilize things, though. Hey, how's it going there, chicken? You're so lucky. I really want to go. Okay, let's see. How goes your day there, chicken? Or night, depending on where you are. Anybody else that's joined the stream, well, welcome. We're trying to do 8,000 on this 4-DIMM board. I've got working before, but not with good timings. I'm at 800 mega transfers right now. Timings are not great, but they're actually not half bad. Chicken emoji. 7A, 6E. Ooh, go, 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 go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's go. No, that's not what I wanted. Like right when it's supposed to go hit 6.6, it gave me a 6.0. I have the X70E Nova and almost finished building my setup. I'm worried if it can be stable at 8,000. No, it's a 4-DIMM board. It won't be stable, buddy. It won't be stable. No 4-DIMM boards for DDR5 right now is stable at 8,000. Yeah, everybody should smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. But yeah, sorry to burst your bubble. 8,000 is not stable on any 4-DIMM motherboards. I have a 4-DIMM motherboard, and I have thousands of hours of DDR5 tuning with 12 600K, 12 900K, and 13 900KF. Not able to do it. No one else is able to do it. I would do 6400 on two of the DIMMs out of the 4. If you're doing all 4, I would do 6,000. If you don't know anything about tuning, just stick to the 6,000 on 4 DIMMs, so 4 sticks of RAM. And if you are having 2 sticks of RAM on the 2 DIMM, I would go with 6400, and you'll be stable. You will be very stable. We'll go back to, I think, I'll go into my tester. Do my tester, 7800 for my tester here. Check over everything. 16x2, 32 gigabytes, CL32. That's a very good cast latency, man. That is a good cast latency to be at, especially for XMP. So that way you shouldn't have to do a whole lot of manual tuning. If you don't know anything about RAM tuning, just enable that XMP and you should be stable at 6,000. Thank you for hitting that like button. It does help me out quite a bit. Wait, what am I at? 5 gigahertz, 1.245 volts. Should be out. No. I'll do 1.265. It's not cold enough right now to be lowering the voltages. So I'll just raise the voltage slightly. It's still under stock voltages at 5 gigahertz, by the way. So it is a fairly good chip. And we'll do 36, 44, 44. We'll do 36. 500, 420. We'll do 900 and 800 for stability on TRFC2 and TRFC PB if you have ASUS, TRC2 and TRFC 4. Tmod 60 gives a little more stability as well. We'll do 18, 18, and 20 for more stability. Just because it's Hynix M die, I should be able to just keep those where they are. Got it. Okay. And AMD recommend to use 6000 for best performance. Yeah, AMD sucks at RAM overclocking anyway, so the Infinity Fabric sucks, so they have to say, oh, just use this, it'll work. Check Discord. EVGA 1080 Ti for 190 Canadian. Worth it? Yes, it's worth it for that price. If it has the box too, pick it up right now. They sell Canadian for those 1080 Ti's with box for around 300. How long does it take to learn to tune? To tune RAM? I've gotten probably close to 3,000 hours of RAM tuning. So, just a little bit. Just a little bit. For overclocking, though, you can just take your time. Figure out what your CPU actually likes. What your motherboard likes, too. For RAM, though, if you get a decent RAM kit, Hynix M die or Hynix A die, you're balling anyways. If you have Hynix A die, you're going to get higher frequencies. Hynix M die, you can get a little bit more tuning out of it and hit the same kind of performance as Hynix A die at a higher frequency. So Hynix M die at 7200 megatransfers per second versus Hynix A die at 8000 is about the same performance. Just because you can tune it just a little bit more. Try to get a 3070. 3070s are nice. I got a 3070 Ti with records on it. I got one of the fastest 3070 Ti's in the world. Has beaten 6800 XTs on liquid nitrogen and 6900 XTs on liquid nitrogen as well. And it's on air. 66. That's 7800 megatransfers per second right now. Preparing Windows does this to me all the time. Like, why do you got to do this? Just because I'm tuning. Stop it. I wish I can take this out of the actual Windows. Figure out what actual parameter it's actually checking for, like, errors and stuff like that. Or, like, for refreshes like that. So it's not stable enough. That would be CPU. I'm waiting for 5000 series. Let's see. Yeah, man. The prices are not going to be good. Definitely won't be good. Like, we're talking for water-cooled 4090s. Water-cooled ones are like $3,000 Canadian. For not water-cooled, they're about $2,000 plus. So, yeah, factor in that price. You'll still be around the $3,000 mark for the water-cooled, $2,000 for the airs. Absolutely insane. That's Canadian, though. I don't know how much that'd be American. It's like almost 1.4 times the amount now for American dollar versus Canadian. So, it's a lot. Nice. It's nice having some money set away. Yep, it could be. If it has more CUDA cores, it'd definitely be better. It might have the same amount of CUDA cores, though. Or if it has lower CUDA cores, performance-wise, it'll be not that good, in my opinion. I would stick with the 40 series because it'll be cheaper when the 50 series comes out. That's my opinion, though. That is definitely mine. I just want to get back into the BIOS. 557F. 61. I like seeing that. 66. Let's go. 99. Let's see. 99. Oh, 97. 97. Error before 99. I actually have not seen an error before 99. That's CPU though, not enough voltage for the temperature it's at. I still won't buy if they don't change their stupid connector. Yeah, very true. The 12 pin thingamajig, whatever it's called. as less in the leaks. I gotta figure out some leaks. I could probably figure out in some forums, find some leaks. That's what I generally do for when I do the leaks, but I've been streaming too much and too busy to actually find out about the leaks. I did leak out the 285K, the 9950X and its performance. And a long time ago I figured out it was the motherboard manufacturer screwing over Intel about the degrading the CPUs as motherboard manufacturers, and now Intel is implementing a little bit of something to make sure they cannot do that ever again. If you're enjoying the stream, sorry about the green. It is the best I can do for the BIOS. For some reason, it loves to go green. Let's see. I'll go back to that. We'll just go 5.1 for now. We'll go 5.1. I just want to make sure everything's stable before I start doing anything else. Ooh. Oh, everything's set. Nice. I like that. And auto memory. Everything looks good. What about timings? 48, 52, 52. Oh, 46. 54, 52. Instead of 120, I'll do 48. Should be stable enough. We'll do 900 and 860 just to keep the low end up as high as I can. Everything looks fairly good. Okay timings. These are not the greatest timings. These are like Hynix A die timings, not Hynix M die that I have. It's okay. It's okay. We're trying to get stability for 8,000. Right now we're at 7,800. And let's look at the chat. What we got? Holy, chat's going too fast. Slow down. Slow down. Let me read. Even your neighbor board can be... Wait. What? Can be hazard if you own that card and burn up the place. Yeah, very true. I remember when the 40 series came out and saw an EK water cool 3090 for $750 on eBay. Yeah, I guess you would have to buy it quick, wouldn't you? That's absolutely insane though. For $750 for a water cool 3090 Ti, oof, I would pick that up so fast. 190 worth for that's a good price, man, for the 1080 EVGA model. Yeah. 9950X should never have been advertised as a gaming CPU. It's only decent in gaming. Great in productivity. Yep, very true on that. The 9950X is only good for certain games, and for productivity, it's really good. Certain tasks too, like it's pretty good for certain tasks. But again, it's cherry picked. It's cherry picked. AMD cherry picked certain games for these creators to use the cherry-picked test games to say, oh, look how good it is. But they never say, oh, you'll still get the AM dip from it. So if you have a good monitor, by the way, it's going to look really crappy in these first-person shooters. At 1080 Ti, and good graphics card on the EVGA 4103, but I would never buy one now. What do you mean you'd never buy one now? I'd buy like 6 more if I could, so that way I can modify 4 of them, to SLI them, and absolutely, I would definitely need some more power supplies. I got a few, but I would definitely need more. Nah, it's only not worth it if you're not like me. Oh yeah, we got it. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this sexy beast. Look at this sexy beast. Oh yeah, so nice. This is the legend right here. The absolute legend. Calm down. Hush, hush. We'll use you later. We'll use you. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic there. We got 7F, really? 7F code? 7800 is not liking me right now, and I don't know why. I had it all set up before the stream, changed a couple things, and now it just doesn't like me. Maybe if I lower TRFC down, lower the cast latency, and that down a bit. Yeah, aim dip. No, No, it's not. It's not just the 3Ds. AMD's always had the AM dip, not just from the 3Ds. No one knows really why. I'm pretty sure it's due to the Infinity fabric that they have. They've been talking about getting rid of the Infinity fabric and going with a different kind of process for RAM. So that may help the AM dip. I don't know. But yeah, AM dip is not just for the X3Ds. It's overall for AMD. We're not extreme overclocks like you, huh? I guess so. Oh yeah, I would, yeah, definitely. I want to try every card, every motherboard, every RAM kit that I can get. If you haven't checked it out, I've got a EVGA GTX 770 SC, so the super clocked. Bought it not working. Had to do some multimeter testing to figure out what was wrong. Figure out it was a MOSFET and an SMT, and soldered them up and got it working. No, there's no way to actually fix the AM dip. It's built into the actual architect of, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the Infinity fabric, because what I've been reading is actually them saying, oh, we're going to change out the Infinity fabric. But I mean, that was from last gen too, so they haven't implemented it yet. Maybe they'll do it for the next gen. We'll see. Well, I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I'm going to go with an absolute stable. I'm going to go with an absolute stable test here. Go from there, just because for some reason, somewhere over the rainbow, something is just not liking me. So we'll disable. Not for gaming. If you're doing what you do, then yes, yeah, exactly. It's not for, well, for some games it's good, more or less for simulation games and like simulator games, and we won't call it anything that can utilize more cores basically and RAM. But for first person shooters, you just want frequency for core, like core frequency of CPU, and some decent RAM for tuning the RAM. AMD, you can't tune the RAM that well. You get some okay frequencies, but the actual tuning is garbage. Gear mode 2. I really want to see if I can get gear mode 4 working, to be honest. Maybe this stream will do it. And we'll definitely take off that. Definitely disable that. Whoa. 36, 48, 48. That's good. 72. Oh, this is my stable. This is my stable one. This one should actually be good to go. This is my stable one. 72. This is my all-round gaming stable overclock for a Hynix M die. So if you want to look at that, just go back through the stream, pause it, and if you have Hynix M die, you should copy and paste those. 0. Ring ratio 45 is fine. You take off the actual high bandwidth and low latency. It's not really needed. And we'll give this bad boy a little bit more voltage. So I'm just using the XMP to give it the voltage, the 1.45. All the timings are my own timings. So it won't implement these timings. Actually, what I can do, though... actually, what I could do... What I could do is show you is about the XMPs and that, too. It doesn't matter what board you have. This board was $1,000 when it came out. It couldn't do XMP 7800. Couldn't do XMP 6800. Couldn't do XMP 7400. I had to manually tune it all. So there's no way to, yeah, what a terrible time to buy CPUs. Oh, it certainly is. And GPUs, by the way. We're at a silicon actual limit. We are at a hardware limit. Well, not really hardware. We can keep increasing the power, but we're at a silicon limit of actual performance. So we're just going to have to keep increasing the power. Hopefully we got enough cooling for it, and hope that we don't have to go to quantum to actually, you know, get more performance. They have been talking about using different kind of processes to make CPUs. So if you know anything about CPUs, lithography, and how they make actual CPUs, they're actually trying to change out from the sand, which is silicon sand, or quartz, pure sand and pure quartz. They're trying to go away from that and go to like carbon nanometer. They've been testing. They've also been testing types of like metals, like bismuth. If you ever heard of bismuth, it's like hard like glass, basically. They're trying that out too for some reason. But yeah, we're at kind of a hardware limit. 6.1, 6.6. Ooh, 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 ooh. We got it. Okay. Yeah, it's a terrible time. Everything's super overpriced. Everything's super... Nope, not good enough. You hate me. You hate me. So yeah, it's just, yeah, man, there's so many things that are good and bad about the time we were in. Boom. Come on, chat, pop back up. Okay, and just, I want you to set the settings, thank you. Oop, BIOS. Wait, what? That don't seem right. Why, how did I get into the, what? What happened? There's no way we're actually at the frequency I think we are. Oh, we are. Okay. 7,600. 7,600. That's looking good. Sweet. That's somewhere. Let's see if we're stable enough to run this test. This is Geekbench 3. It's part of the actual hardware bot, as you can read on the screen. Hardware bot 24 Country Cup. So hardware bot Country Cup 2024. Country versus country. I believe there's 31 countries participating right now. You can go to EC or OC esports page and figure that out, though, just to confirm. Might be another team that's another country that's participating. I don't know. So far 31 though. So far. And the test that we gotta beat more or less is FFT and DFFT. And if we pass that, guarantee we'll finish the rest of the run. Hopefully it'll be around 13,000 on the memory. This is terrible for the multi-core because I'm on 6-core, no hyper-threading. And we'll just make that a little bigger. We'll just zoom in for everybody. Oh yeah, 13,247. Okay, a bit more than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. It's not, the timings are absolutely not good. So you got to raise the actual frequency to get more performance out of it. It's fine. Let's go back into BIOS and tune a little bit more on the actual RAM timings. See what we can get at 7,600. Then from there, we'll see if we can do some gear mode 4. Gear mode 4 has always been broken though on DDR5. The only way to really utilize gear mode 4 is to be above like 8,400 mega transfers per second. So only a few people have gotten gear mode 4 working, and I'm pretty sure it's only on the new boards with new RAM. I'm not sure. I've only seen gear mode 4 on a couple of tests, I think twice now. But yeah, if the higher the gear mode, the more stable things should be. But gear mode 4 has been at higher frequencies. It just makes things less stressful for your CPU, more or less. Instead of being gear mode 1, 1 to 1, gear mode 2, 2 to 1, gear mode 4, 4 to 1. Oh yeah, these codes are looking good. 6.1, should go 6.6, should go 9.9. Alright. Back into BIOS, go back into the green screen here. Yeah, go back into this lovely green screen. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Should I just go for it? I think I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. So we'll go 48, go 56, 56, we'll go 80. Keep that 800 and 700, TWR, that's fine. Could raise these up to just for more stability, but we'll try this. T-mod 60. Raise this up to 18. That also up to 18. And we'll put this to 90 and 70. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. We'll do 80 to 100. And we'll go into gear mode, gear mode 4, make sure I didn't set anything else, like voltages, nope. We'll save this, we'll say profile, we'll go to the 7600 tester, rename it. Oops. G4, tell me it's 8400 gear mode 4. Hopefully we get that working. Our best time to buy CPUs. Nah, Intel CPUs are not even close to being dead, man. Not even close. The company is Intel owns 78% of the CPU market, even after the degrading of the CPUs. They own 78% of the CPU market. They are currently handing over 20A to TSCM for manufacturing CPUs, and they have gotten more investors onto the 18A platform, which they're going to handle the actual manufacturing of the CPUs instead of TSCM. So hopefully they don't pass over TSCM, and that way they can make more money, and the investors will be happier, and yes. Oh yeah. By the way, AMD only owns approximately 7% of the CPU market right now. They might have better stocks, but that's because there's better at marketing their CPUs. Intel's only really worried about their like 18A nodes and 20A nodes, by the way. Which us consumers, us little guys, we don't get to see those, by the way. I can't wait to see, what is it, Forest Clearwater and, what is it, Lunar? Those are the new ones coming out. Ew, I don't know if it liked it. Not sure what Gear Mode 4 really needs to make it work. Like I said, it's been broken since DDR5 came out. Almost all the high-end builds have the new 9000X 3D. Yeah, and they were paid by AMD, by the way. They were paid. Gamers Nexus was paid by AMD back in October, by the way, to say all these good things about it. All these content creators that play games like Apex, if you ever heard of Mandy, he was sponsored and paid. Nope. And paid and given a 7900 GRE to say good things about it. That's 8200. Let's go 8400, I said. And we'll try out 48, 48. Let's just raise this to 120. That might help. Raise this to 900. Raise this to 800. We'll raise these to 8. And we'll go down and we'll actually raise the voltages of things. 1.5. 1.5. Save and exit. Yeah, it's an Intel platform. 12600K has been lapped, delidded, lapped. Has Corsair, Dominator, Titanium, Hynix M-Die, 24 gig by 2, so 48 gigabyte kit, Hynix M-Die, and a Z690 Ors Master motherboard with a custom monoblock for the CPU and motherboard. It's a 4-DIMM board, and trying to get 8000 stable on it's very difficult to even do tests or even to load into Windows. I can do it, but I'm trying to get gear mode 4 working right now, so that way I can do 8400. So I'm going to need to get at least 8400 or 8600 with some decent timings to get a better score. Because Intel older ones are still prices new. Yeah, because they're very stable CPUs and still got lots of life left in them. Like the i7 8700K, the i9 9900K is a... So the i9 9900K, by the way, is an enthusiast grade CPU. i9s are enthusiast grade, so anyone that's just looking to get the best of the best, you gotta learn stuff about CPUs if you get an i9, by the way. You shouldn't just plug and play, because that's when you have problems. It's enthusiast grade for a reason. You should stick with, if you're like a first-person shooter, get a i5 12600K and i5 13600K. If you want a little bit more performance, go with the 13700K. Absolutely crushes in AMD. It will crush AMD 7800X3D on all first-person shooters, and you won't get the AM dip. So everything looks smooth and silky. It does not like me. It does not like me. Please do something about this. Gear mode 4 is just so damn finicky. Let's do 52, 56, 60. 60 is really high. Like 60 is really high. 120 is really high. 72 on TWR is really high. 900. What if we loosen TRFC out to like 1200? We can put this to 1000. Probably won't do anything, but we can try it. Everything is just so finicky. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? That's right. I thought I was gonna do this before. I thought I was gonna do this before, but I never did this for everybody. So my apologies on that. We're just gonna do a little bit of tweak. We'll even keep the speed shift technology going on it. And we'll disable the E cores. Let the P cores do whatever the hell they want. I got the 79XD, I do my OC, my RAM. Well, it won't increase any average frame per 1% lows. Yeah, nice boost. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. The average, I mean, your 0.1% and your 1% lows for gaming on first-person shooters could be lower than Intel, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you have the X3D or the non-X3D versions. It's just, it's Intel or AMD. It's always been AMD. Ever since the start of this Infinity Fabric. That's why I think it is the Infinity Fabric, so we'll just keep the timing. So we're literally just going to do that, and then we're going to put the XMP of 8266 on it, which I don't think will work. So we'll just go 8200, because the 8266 is more of a 133 on the actual CPU, so it kind of needs to be set that way to make it work properly. And then it wouldn't even be at 8266, it'll be 8266 times 0.33, and add on whatever that is onto 8266, and that's what it'll be. I'm gonna always be a NVIDIA and Intel boy for my life. AMD, if you want to sponsor me from not talking shit about your stuff anymore, please sponsor me. Kidding, I'll still talk shit about you. I had to BIOS reset like 8 times. That's brutal. Yeah, no. I don't know. Intel has its things and AMD has its things. What he said. Yeah, like I said, my 12600K outperforms the 7800X3D. in first-person shooters, and majority of gamers play FPS games. Okay, majority of gamers. If you play some simulator games, like what is that new one that came out? It's a really odd name. It's one with a big town and like I don't know, crazy amount of RAM you need for it too. That is where the 7800X 3D performs better, slightly, but my 12600K beats the 7800X 3D. The 13600K outperforms the 7800X 3D in first-person shooters and multiple games. Again, AMD is just good at marketing their CPUs. They have always been good at marketing their CPUs. Come on, Gear Mode 4. 6-1? 6-6? Did it work? No way, did it? No, it did not. No, it did not. That's okay. We'll try 8600. We'll just raise it because Gear Mode 4 is broken. So might as well just raise it. And then what we'll do is raise the voltage to 1.565. Ooh. And we'll raise this to 1.545. Does not need as much voltage as the other one, so. Okay, so the Ryzen 5600 is clocked at a RAM speed of 3200 megahertz. Yep. Doesn't matter. That's not how RAM and clock speed work. The RAM is different than CPU. But yeah, this okay. At me. Okay, you need to provide benchmarks for that. I don't like people who claim things without showing. Have you watched anyone that does anything besides the ones that have been paid? No. Again, Gamers Nexus has also been paid off, and he showed the certain tests that would be Intel. If you actually go and watch the people that have not been paid by AMD to sponsor them, just to show off their product and give them the product and tell them, you know, because once you get sponsored or get paid by AMD to use a certain whatever, a GPU or CPU, they will give you a certain contract, and the contract will state you got to use these tests against whatever you want to test it by. Like if you want to test it against the best of Intel at the time, so the 14900K, not the 285K, by the way, the 14900K versus the 9950X, certain tests, the 9950X was winning. Certain tests, certain games, the 9950X was winning. It's not just me, buddy. I do research. I go onto forums. I look at all these people that have been sponsored and have been paid, and you can search up who has been sponsored and paid. It's not very difficult, and what time they were sponsored and paid, and when Gamers Nexus was sponsored and paid for the 9950X was back in October 22nd. So, you let me know who was sponsored and who was not sponsored and who said what about the CPU. And then you come back to me about that. Okay? Okay. So we got actually a little bit better there since it said that. Intel has always outperformed AMD. When you see benchmarks, they benchmark the CPUs at default settings. But when you're buying a K CPU, they're running at stock settings. Exactly. If you're running an Intel K processor versus AMD counterpart and you overclock it, you will outperform AMD. But the benchmarks you see online are always at stock settings. And certain tests. Very specific tests. Like who? I am not a fan of either company. I just want to compare chips. Okay, well... what's his name? What's his name there? He's a pretty big YouTuber now. He was one of the guys that was not sponsored by AMD. Who was it? Yeah, I think. Oh, by the way, Frame Chasers is also a good one if you want to watch about that, because he's very specific on who he wants to be sponsored by. And yes, he does get sponsored. Doesn't matter what he says. If you search it up, he's been sponsored by certain people as well. But yeah, you can go on forums too. No, that's fine. It's fine if he's an AMD fanboy. There's lots of AMD fanboys. Some people are, they like to stick with the best. You know what I'm saying? The absolute best. They love having those 1% and 0.1% lows while gaming. They love missing their shots. They love all these weird crashes. They love it not being able to tune the RAM. They love just using Expo and getting below average frames. They love using Expo to get crashing while doing certain editing. They love AMD because, yeah, that's all they could afford. Or wait, they could have afforded an Intel system that was cheaper, but they decided to go with AMD because AMD marketed their product and was all these creators said everything good about it. Sorry to say, they were paid off. They were all paid off. All the ones that were paid off said nothing but good about it and used specific tests. I should not need to explain that. You can just Google it. You can Google who got sponsored, and then you can search up the time and date when they were sponsored. It's not that difficult, man. Professor, 1400K is better because I see the OC benchmark other CPUs. No, even at stock settings, the 14900K outbeat most AMD CPUs on most tests. The 12600K was outbeating the 7800X3D. By the way, the 5800X3D was outbeating the 7800X3D on majority of the tests that they were specifically wanting the 7800X3D being ran on. The 5800 was beating the 7800. So please, just stop. Stop. You just need to learn to actually read up on things. Look at the actual performance of things, and maybe you will learn something. I'm trying to focus on getting this gear mode freaking 4 working, which I'm probably just going to say screw it and take it off, and let's just see what happens now, because it's not going to work even at gear mode 2, so let's just do it. It does. Bro, I got people with stock 14Ks. It's not it. Oh my god. Yes, you compare with them. You compare with them on certain tests. On certain tests. You want to look at the actual overclocking scores. You want to look at actual tests that were ran by people that did not run what Far Cry 6. What was the other one there that AMD won at? Far Cry 6 was one game that outperformed the 14900K, and the 5800X beat the 7800X 3D, by the way, on majority of the game still. Majority. The older CPU of AMD platform that cost less money outperformed their new CPU that cost nearly twice as much. Odd. Very, very, very odd. I know, Hart. I'm trying to make things more learnable, but I had a 12600 and actually nicest CPU I ever owned because it's cheaper than your average high-end CPU and it really handles anything. It really does. Again, I had 12600K, 12900K, and 13900KF. All outperformed AMD. I mean, the motherboard's actually doing something Gear Mode 2 here. Gear Mode 4 didn't even try. Gear Mode 2 is doing something like 8600, so I don't know. Ooh, stuck on C1. Channel 1 is stuck on channel 1. That's not good. Oh, we did something. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I can still perform. And if like the 12600K is like a very low wattage, so if you overclock it, you can easily get 5 gigahertz on all the P cores and not have to bottleneck anything really. It's kind of nice. Let's try 8200. Nah, let's just do 8000. Again, still XMP, so it's going to utilize these XMP timings at 1.45 volts. These are not my timings. These are not my anything. Like nothing. This is none of my tuning. This is just Intel doing Intel. Or not even Intel, sorry. This is the motherboard manufacturer doing whatever they wanted, because this is on the old BIOS. This is F28 on the Gigabyte Z690 ORS Master. Also works for the some sort of Pro model too. But F28 is their old BIOS. Does not have any microcode update whatsoever on it because it's better for RAM overclocking. I've already tried everything, so I'm still on F28. Frosty! Also, when you reach 1K subs, I got something planned for you. We're so close, buddy. We're so freaking close. I keep gaining a couple every day and then losing one. Gaining a couple every day and then losing one. It's like maybe there's AMD fanboys when they start talking about AMD and saying, you know, Intel's still better, because they are. It's facts. 85 to 90% of the games, Intel's better. For some sort of editing, Intel is still better. Majority of the actual editing and stuff like that, blenders and stuff like that, Intel's still better. So you're telling me all the benchmarks I've ever seen from main YouTubers are, yes, exactly. They're not trustworthy, buddy. I know it sucks to hear this. If you literally just search up like these top YouTubers, remember Intel, not Intel, LTT, Linus Tech Tips. He's sponsored this year by AMD. He has to say good stuff about it. He has to go follow a contract so that way he can continue making all this money off of AMD and not go off of the contract and have it absolutely canceled on him because he would stop making good money. Gamers Nexus, October 22nd or something like that. He was sponsored. 9950X. Hello. 9950X. October 22nd. Come on, people. Ring a bell here. He said nothing but good about it. And all these certain tests that he ran, that the 9950X was actually beating the 14900K and some KSs. What about hardware? That's it. Thank you. You spiked my memory. Hardware Unboxed there. Go watch Hardware Unboxed. He was not sponsored by AMD. Thank you for refreshing my memory there, chicken. I would love seeing you benchmark games with tuned old chips. Oh, buddy, you have no idea. Oh, you have no idea. You haven't seen my videos, have you? Again, big shout out to my donators for the Arctic MX4 45 gram tube of thermal paste, absolutely making it amazing for me to overclock. And these temperatures are really good, even though it's only 8 degrees right here. Dave is saying 8 degrees. If we can read that, Dave says 8 degrees at 43% humidity. Oh, I'm trying to get this big box of 100 CPUs right here. Oh, we got a giveaway, by the way. We got a giveaway. I got to make more streams of it. So I'm giving away an X5570 4-core 8-thread. The CPU was $1,600 back in the day when it came out for Canadian dollars. But we got 100 of them. I've already delidded a bunch of them. I've already smashed one open to show what the actual die looks like, the architect underneath the actual silicon layer. I've done a lot, man. I've done a lot. No, man, there's no idea. I've overclocked a i7 3770K almost to 5.2 gigahertz. It's been delidded. CPU die has been lapped on the backside IHS and the front. Got it to 5.1 gigahertz on water. I do all my tests on water and air, and I'm up around liquid nitrogen scores for the actual hardcore overclockers, buddy. As soon as I hit liquid nitrogen, we're going to be balling. We're going to be crushing records. We're going to be crushing records. My 3070 Ti is one of the fastest in the world. Has 3 records so far on it and a whole lot of second places. I'm really trying not to swear anymore on my streams, by the way. So I have multiple records on the 3070 Ti, lots of second places and a lot of third places. One of the fastest. I got a GTX 770 that I bought, had to fix up and got it all working. Again, if you want to look at a stream on that, it's my EVGA. I got a new EVGA card. I got my coffee. I need some coffee because you guys are stressing me out. Oh, that's good stuff. Got 40 feet of new tubing for my one of my water cooling that I have to redo. At least my X870E will support AM6, right? AMD at least is good for that. Keeping motherboard generations the same. Intel needs to work on that. Maybe they'll work on the 1851 more. C1. Stuck on C1. Just to the max. What kind of 3070 Ti is it? Not the greatest. It's like a medium high-end tier. It's the Zotac Amp Hollow. It's not the Trinity. It's the Amp Hollow. But it's still... It performs better than the EVGA model. Performs better than some of the extreme models too, which is kind of nice. Okay, we have to get out of this because I want to actually do something here. Yeah, we'll stay at 5.2. 5.2, 1.365. 7800. We'll check over my timings. Yes, these are going to be my timings. No, these are not going to be my timings. My apologies. These are terrible timings. Don't copy any of these. These are to make sure I can be somewhat stable. Command rate of 2. I don't even think command rate of 3 is going to do anything either. That's fine. mean, these secondary timings here, if again you want to pause the video or go back, if I don't do that, if I don't do that. Oh, seeing the stress, yeah. I had an Oris Master 37 Ti that did amazing. Certain benches, certain buddy, I got, I got records. I'm beating some Apex Encore, some Asus Apex and Apex Encores. I got yeah, a lot of good scores with this board. I would like, you know, of course, an Apex board and a 14900K. I did break my 13900K and 13900KF, not by overclocking it, by using a direct die. So sad. That was a couple of sad days for me. Shed a couple tears. Then got over it. Started overclocking some more RAM. Forgot about it. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. AMD is good for some things, but efficiency is some things, yeah. Intel has its efficiency too, though. You gotta remember that. Its price range right now is even cheaper than AMD, so if you want to go to price to performance, Intel technically is better right now. And yeah, you can figure out the price to performance. Intel is technically a bit higher than, or a bit better than AMD. Actually, let's just do 0 on that. Let's get that back to auto. Just checking over some things just to make sure. 7800 should work. And I'll say profile, back to this one. It's not CL36, but it's okay. It's okay. We're doing something. We're doing something. Instead of working on this gear mode 4 that's not going to work because it's never worked for DDR5 unless you're very, very lucky. Or using a liquid nitrogen, which I'm not on. Everything that I have, by the way, on the motherboard has been modded. Copper shims, more capacitors, more SMTs. Everything. The RAM, the motherboard. Actually, not this GPU. I haven't done anything to this GPU yet. It's my new GTX 770 by EVGA SC model. Haven't done anything to it, but fix it up to make sure it works. What I hate in big tech videos, they don't use higher RAM speeds. Yeah, they use the sweet spot of AMD, so that way they can perform about the same for the RAM speeds. Technically, AMD does not perform the same because, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the Infinity Fabric. Like I said, AMD's trying to get out of the Infinity Fabric so that way maybe their RAM performs better, but well, who knows when that'll take over. No, you can't compare chips like that. You really can't. You gotta be more... okay, so Intel on 2 DIMM boards can do this. On Intel 4 DIMM boards, Intel can do this. And you can use the XMPs and that too to the max of what the board can do. But you gotta remember, these are content creators. They're not overclockers. So let's say they get a RAM kit that doesn't perform on that motherboard. Not really CPU. Like this SP values and these biscuits and that, not really, I don't know, applicable to anything in my opinion. Because my 12600K overclocks RAM better than some 13900Ks that have extremely good SP values, which doesn't make sense. It's a lower end chip, but it performs better for RAM overclocking than these extremely good SP value 13900Ks. So I don't get it. It's probably due to the person just not knowing how to overclock, or maybe they just got a really crappy motherboard. Who knows? My motherboard is definitely not good. It's been fixed up, it's been used and abused, and it still outperforms many people just because I'm good at tuning. When I get a new 14900K, I will definitely show the performance. I'll definitely try to get some records on that. Do you have benchmark for your... Do I have benchmark? I have like 120 benchmarks on it, and I'm up around liquid nitrogen and dual phase change systems. My 12600K on water hits 5.5 gigahertz on P and 4.4 gigahertz on the E. RAM speed up to 7800 megatransfers per second on most tests. run it. If you're beating 60,000 points on the multi-core and 9,000 points on the single core, you're beating my 12600K. Very unlikely you're going to do that, but if you do, good. Yeah, don't matter about what you got. It's what you want to use it for. If you're okay with it, then just keep it. If you're not an enthusiast like I am, then quit worrying about it. Especially you, Hart. Quit your bitching. He has a crappy motherboard. He has crappy laptops. Is that on your channel? Because I want to compare. Oh yeah, I got tons of videos. Tons of videos out there, buddy. Tons. Tons and tons. I got like 100, almost 190 now. No, stop it. Why are you donating to me? Thank you to the donator, by the way. My PayPal donation, thank you very much. That is not needed, but again, thank you. That will help me go towards my next CPU. Thank you, again. He wants to compare. Okay, yeah, you can. Yeah, if actually, if you want to search me up, go to hwbot.org. So hwbot.org, O-R-G, and you gotta go and click onto the search, and you gotta search up Luger. Search up Luger. Click on my benchmarks and scores. Currently, like I said, I'm doing this, so I can't do that, but actually I can. You know what? I can. I will show you. I will show you what I mean. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, we gotta do this. We gotta add another thing. Give me 1 second. Display capture. Okay. Okay. Look at us go. We are professionals. I am a professional. Gotta be a professional. Again, thank you to my donator. Yeah, a donator on this stream. That is awesome. You're not gonna let me open Google. Hardware clock. You guys can see this, right? I currently cannot see the screen, so hopefully everybody can see me. Yeah, okay. Dun, 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 dun. We can go over some things just to show you my scores. Dun, dun. 7-zip. Okay, my 7-zip with a 12600K, 110,445. It's only 24th place, but up against some pretty nasty scores here. So liquid nitrogen, just getting 11,000 with liquid nitrogen. 6,000. And these guys right here splitting that are on liquid nitrogen too. They just haven't set it. And they're only at 5.5 gigahertz. I hit 5.5 gigahertz on water. This is at 5.4 and 4.3 though. So I wanted to make sure I didn't get too high of a score on this one so that way I can beat it later on. That's why. This should be my i7 3770K. This is only at 5 gigahertz. I can get up to 5.1 though. What do you want to look at? What do you want to look at? Yep, Luger. Yep, correct. Anything for gaming? Buddy, gaming is like specifically multiple different kind of tests put into one. Like 3D tests, light tests, anything that has a physics test is going to be CPU. Anything that has more than that, like your 3D in that, it's going to be GPU. So like if we do 3D Mark 2001 SE here, right here. So this is a 22, almost 23-year-old benchmark, 3D Mark 2001 SE, second edition. That's like a 980 Ti will outperform a 4090, by the way, on this test. A 980 Ti, because it has certain like actual things that's built into that GPU than any other GPU. No other GPU but like the 900 series can make better scores than a 4090 and a 14900K. So there's a lot of specifics But if you just want to do some light testing in that, you can do Geekbench 3, Geekbench 4, Geekbench 5. I've got 60,000 points now, so I don't have to worry about that. But let's do Simbench R23. A lot of people know about Simbench R23. So Simbench R23, 4-core, which would be, I don't know if it's my, no, yeah. So I overclocked an i7 2600 to 4.3 gigahertz. Yeah, you can overclock them. I got 5th overall, 4,066 points. 6-core would be my 5650. Oh, it's actually in my 12600K. My apologies. Only at 5.4. And it hit 16,000, almost 17,000. 10-core, so 21,240 is my 12600K. 5.4 and 4.3. If you do Simbench, you don't have to worry about your RAM. It's only about CPU. 16 core is my 12900K. I didn't have enough time with it, so I only hit 5.3. 96 on load, though. Hit 30,000 points. Almost 30,500. And my 13900K, I did 44,166. 17th place overall. And I was at like, what, 5.9, 4.7. So 5.9 on the P's, 4.7 on the E. I like using simple built-in benchmark in known games like BO6. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to do like something that performs, like I could run, actually. So if you ever use Black Myth Wukong, cinematic performance on all of it, and then super resolution cranked up, with the 12600K and a 3070 Ti, I can hit maximum of 40 frames. The average is like 38 frames per second, which is pretty good. Like max cinematic and max super resolution with a 12600K. Pretty good, but probably 9950X would beat it. I'm not sure if your 7800 would. Let's see. Let's go 9950X. Oh, that's right. Yep. One second. I gotta move my keyboard over. Do I still have sound? Hopefully I didn't unplug my sound. Every time I do that, I seem to unplug my sound. Alright, i9, 9950X. We'll just get to go top tier, see what my performance is compared to your, or compared to my 12600K. 4K test here. Oh, I guess I can't compare it that way. It's not going to show my score. At least they got some liquid nitrogen runs now. That's nice. Okay. Guess I can't do it that way. I forgot I can't do it that way. What do you mean that has nothing to do with gaming? No, we're using 720p with low settings? What? What? Why would I use 720? What? Oh, yeah, to test verify CPU bottleneck. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Like, right now I'm set at 4K for this stream, so that way it looks fairly good. I'm at 4K right now on a X5650, a 13 or 14-year-old CPU now. This is what's doing the streaming. A literal 3070 Ti for the encoder and a 6-core, 12-thread, almost 14-year-old CPU. On stock. It's all on 4K. I don't know. I'm not sure what tests you want me to show for actual performance. It's really hard to tell what's actually good or not against your 7800X 3D. At OCPC, you can say anything. This kid just doesn't want to hear what you have to say. He wants to compare benchmark in games. What do you want me to compare in games? Like, right now, I don't have my 3070 Ti. Like, if I tried to use something for a GTX 770, it's not going to work. Like, it's even if I did 720p, like, it would have to be old games in that. Like, you would literally need to be very specific on the games, because even AMD specific on the games. And if my system is not even close to being new with the GTX 770 in it, then how can I even compare? I don't think he knows how CPUs work, and he only going off what he sees in YouTube videos. Yeah, you can't go off of YouTube videos, man. And if you want to know anything, search up whether or not they've been sponsored by that person. They either have to say it in the stream somewhere, or you can literally search it up on Google and see what person was actually sponsored when. If they were sponsored when that video came out, then they were sponsored and had to say something very good about it because it's in the actual contract. AMD's really good at marketing and good at paying people to say good stuff about their stuff. I am not sponsored by anybody. I'll say whatever I want. If it works really good, I'll say it works really good. If it works really bad, I'll say it works really bad. If I say use these timings, you can use these timings. They might work. I'm not going to say they are going to work like some content creators out there. Be like, hey, just copy paste this. Everything's chill. That's not the way things work, man. It's just not the way things work. He's trying to justify, yeah. Geekbench is endgame. Yeah, okay, buddy. It really is. It really is. Let's go Geekbench. Let's go Geekbench multi. Oh, by the way, if you can get a actual memory score on Geekbench 3 over 14,000 points, your memory is overclocked very well. Let's okay, hold on. We'll just go after this one. We'll look at my old score here. We'll look at an old score. 13,746. So not even close to being my best. My best is about 15,000, which is like top 10 in the world. Doesn't matter what CPU you have. My RAM overclocking is just so good. Let's go 9950X here. We'll go to Simbench 3 multi. We'll go top 20. We'll go top 20, okay? We'll go top 20. Something that should absolutely smash my 12600K for memory. Oh, look at the speed. 6400. Oh. Well, they tried so hard. Oh, yeah, the multi-score is good because of their fucking CPU. Let's go down to the memory. Oh, 13,127. Oh, poor thing. Couldn't even beat a 12600K. Poor thing. Poor thing. Let's go top 5. Top 5 should be able to beat it, right? What has he got? Yeah, top 5 should be able to beat my score. As long as his memory is tuned fairly good, it should beat it. Oh, he just beats it. Top 5 in the world with a 9950X just beats my memory score in this test. And these are very simple, by the way. Stream copy. Stream scale. Oh, yes, stream copy multi. Stream scale multi. Stream add multi-core. Stream triad. They're simple, very simple tests. It's literally just exactly what I said. Very simple test. At this guy, you were just stupid, and to show performance, your answer is, oh, he is AMD fan. Because it sounds like you are AMD fan. If you're not listening to me, buddy, I've literally said stuff months ago about Intel's degrading thing and how it's the motherboards. 2 weeks ago, guess what? It came out, motherboard manufacturers were screwing over Intel. I was right about that. I did make a video about 9950X and saying how good it was against other 16-core CPUs, but for testing, it's not, or for games and certain other tests, it's not good. It's just not good. AMD has been a thing and always has been a thing and is just terrible for first-person shooters, okay? For actual benchmarking, for actual overclockers like me, AMD's not that good. Unless you go into their $10,000 CPUs. Just a CPU costs $10,000. Then you're going to have a $7,000 motherboard. You're going to have to find a RAM kit that will actually work for that CPU and motherboard combo. Like an actual RAM kit specifically made for that kit of CPU and motherboard. So you're talking about $15,000 to $20,000 of actual components that can actually get you beneficial scores against Intel. That's when AMD comes into play. Okay? That's the only time AMD comes into play for enthusiasts. i9s for Intel are enthusiast grade. You do not need to buy an i9 to get better scores than any Ryzen in any games and actual, like I said, test blenders. Some games, like I said, AMD simulation games, there's like 1 or 2 that AMD outperforms. Only 1 or 2. The 5800X3D is outperforming the 7000X3D in some games and outperforming the 9950X in some games. The 5800X3D outperforms a close to $1,000 CPU. Something that came out years ago is beating something that's brand new. And it's AMD. AMD's old CPUs outbeating their new CPUs. Does that even make sense? No, it does not make sense, man. Intel at least can give you more performance, even though they're just upgrading the 13900K to 14900K. Yeah, it's like kind of a refresh, but it still gives you more performance. Jeez. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Again, thank you to my donators, and again on this stream, thank you for donating. Very helpful. It will help me get the maybe a 13900KF or 14900K. Who knows? We'll see. And I'll actually show some actual tests that are absolutely gonna blow people's minds. Okay, I will show on a 4DIMM board what absolute performance is. Juice. Oh my God, Juice. Juice is awesome. If you don't know Juice, then I don't know. Brother, I don't say you are wrong or something. I would love to see, for instance, games like Bio 6 or... Oh, I can't. I can't. I have a GTX 770. I don't even think I can play it right now. Hold on. Hold on, okay? Slow our horses here. Juice. You don't know who Juice is? Frame Chasers. He literally builds like high-end systems for COD fanboys. He calls them COD fanboys because guess what? Even the COD fanboys say we're COD fanboys. We just want 8,000 mega transfer kits. We want 8,000 mega transfers on a RAM. It doesn't matter how much we pay for it. We want it. Guess what? I can do that. I can give you 8,000 on a 4DIMM motherboard. I can do that. Not on a 2DIMM motherboard. That's gonna cost you $1,000 for the motherboard though. I can do it on a 4DIMM because I have that much RAM tuning knowledge in me. I have probably just as much or more RAM tuning than him, and he literally has tons of people that sponsor him, donate to him, and actually help him as well. I have donators in that too. My channel's finally starting to take off, and people are starting to notice how well I actually get stuff done, and how well my performance actually is. I have videos. Go back to my videos. Watch my 1080p, 1080 Ti, 1080p, 12600K on absolute basic, all the way down low settings, all the way up cranked up settings. You can watch that video. If you want to watch a 4K edition of that, I have that as well. It's a 12600K and a 1080 Ti though. It's not my 3070 Ti that I have currently using as my encoder for the stream though. You can go back to my old videos so that way I don't have to end my stream. I'm currently trying to get 8,000 with some decent scores so that way I can actually do good in this competition. I don't care about what you want. I care about doing good in the competition because if I do good in the competition, sponsors are going to want to sponsor me for the RAM kits that I want, the motherboards that I want, and the CPUs I want. I want to be sponsored by Intel, not really AMD, but AMD is easier to get sponsored by. Intel only sponsored people very, very rarely. But if I show how good I am at overclocking and how well I can use their CPUs, I have a better chance of getting a sponsorship with them than these content creators who cannot even get a sponsorship with AMD, which sponsors everybody. Thank you. I really need to get 8,000 working. I do. Like... all I care about right now. I got 8,000 working, but stabilized throughout certain tests is very difficult. Very. Okay. Yeah. Tell me your actual specs of your PC. Okay, what do you get in Apex Legends? Or no, actually, what do you get in Counter-Strike 2 in a first-person shooter? What are your highs and what are your lows? I have, what, 20 videos out there with a 12600K and a 3070 Ti, a 1080 Ti, a 2080 Super, a hardware modded 1070 that hit 2.2 gigahertz steady throughout the whole tests. Again, I do hardware mods and other things like that too, and I will tell you if it has been hardware modded or if it's modded, so that way you can either say, okay, that's not going to be for me, or maybe I can do that mod as well. Seems fairly easy. I have videos of doing hardware mods, 2 of them for power limit mod, so 0 power limit mod on a 1070 for the win model by EVGA, and it hits 2.2 gigahertz without even touching the core voltage. Literally let it do its own thing, hits 2.2 gigahertz in tests in games, literally by itself. and it's absolutely insane how good they are. In Black Myth Wukong, my average one's you're 200 frames, and my low is 149 Cinemax settings on a 32-inch Alienware Quantum dot OLED. Yeah, it's very nice, man. That's insanely good. Well, up there in my campground, what GPU should I upgrade for gaming? What do you have now? What do you have the CPU? What is your RAM? What are your specs? I need to know for that kind of thing before I even say anything. I am a enthusiast hardcore overclocker. I am a somewhat of a gamer. I was top 1000 in Counter-Strike 2. Quit that game because there's too many hackers. Went to Apex Legends and generally just get to master. I never became a predator at all in Apex Legends. Just master. But my 12600K with a 1080 Ti, I would hit 144 frames. I'd even need my 3070 Ti, which my 3070 Ti literally has world records. Again, thank you to my donators, and on this stream too, again, thank you to my donator. But yeah, just let me know your specs and all that, and I can help you out. Yeah. Donators help me get some Arctic MX4 for this competition, so that way I can continuously run different CPUs throughout all my systems. I don't just run my daily system that I use, and I will tell you what voltages and that are good too if you need that as well. But I run my daily system as a actual extreme overclocking system as well. Everything is on a D5 pump, 360mm radiator with custom water block. Again, it's a Z690 Ors Master, 48 gigabytes of Hynix M-Die by Corsair, the Corsair Dominator Titaniums, and CPU is 12600K. Currently, GPU that's in it for this here is a GTX 770 that I fixed up. My streaming PC right now is on another custom water loop, 240mm. It's an X5650, 6-core, 12-thread, all on stock. I've gotten it up to 5 gigahertz though, and I do have other test videos and that. Please just go watch my videos. I have hundreds of videos out there already of all my CPUs, all my GPUs, all my RAM kits. I have about 30 different kind of RAM kits that I've tested. Yeah, there's a lot done. There's a lot done. I make my own custom DASs, all powered by itself. Then you just hook up into your PC and yeah, make my own NASs. I do all that. I do all of it. What GPU? Yeah, I already got that. Yeah, 32 RAM, 67K. Yeah, I had a i7 6700 and overclocked the snot out of it. And not even the K version. It's a very good CPU. 4-core, 8-thread, absolute little monster. Thank you to the donators, real MVPs. Photos are on Discord, okay? My X57M, yep. Run the test with 720 with lowest settings with upscaler like DLS and just put all the load on CPU. Don't use frame generation. I don't even think I can use frame generation without a newer GPU, right? It's a GTX 770, 2 gigabyte card. I gotta switch over my. Okay. Blinded by the light. Ring up like a douche in the rumor of the night. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for that. I know I sound just like him. Only supports 3000 series. Sweet. Sweet. So I can't even use frame generation if I wanted to. It's literally just going to be CPU testing with a GTX 772 gigabyte card. Maximum of, wait, what is my max? Oh, wait, wrong mouse here. Maximum frequency is 1024 megahertz or 1048 megahertz stock. Overclocked or boost clock is 1085. The actual DDR5 memory, the actual frequency it hits is 7010. 2 gigabyte card, DirectX 12. But yeah, we'll just we'll crank up the fan speed here. We'll leave it all on stock too. The old 2 gigabyte card here. We'll leave it on stock. Can I even... Oh, I got Black Myth Wukong right here. What am I doing? I don't need Steam. Exit out Steam. I can't even go on the internet right now. I don't have internet on my actual competition PC right now. It gives me a lower score, so no Wi-Fi. I joined the Discord and can't see your picture. Haha. It's Imgur site, not Discord. Haha. Send me Discord. I'm gonna show it there. No issue. Click on the Discord link. So if you just click on the More tab there, I got my Discord, I got my Instagram, and I got my donation if you want to make a donation. But just click on the Discord. Should bring you right there. Frosty's still up. He'll say howdy do. Did I not open Black Myth? Do you have to be on... No. Oh, you have to be on Steam. Duh. Only download... Oh, I'm on 4K too, by the way. This is 4K. This is 4K. I can't even do anything. Or, yeah, error code. I don't care about that. Steam's currently in offline mode. Click in online mode. You have to be online for Black Myth Wukong benchmark? That is just... no way. Do you actually? You have to... I can't even use it. I don't have internet on it. Why can't people disagree with each other respectfully when it comes to this stuff? Because some people need a smack in the head, go poof. Listening to the person that has more hours on a PC than you do in real life. I bet my NVMe drive has more hours than most of my viewers. We're closing on 14,000 hours on my NVMe drive. And it's, what? 2 years old? Is there anything I can test that doesn't require internet? Yes. You guys want to try out 3D Mark Vantage? Because that's actually not bad for testing as well. Or 3D Mark 11, 3D Mark 03, 3D Mark 2001 SE is only good for the 900 series. So we can pull that one out of the test. Is there anything that you guys want to see that can show the actual... Oh yeah, I think I'm on stock settings though. Am I on stock settings or am I at... You guys see. Yes, I'm using hardware monitors. It's easier for everybody to see. I use hardware info as well. Yeah, we're on stock settings. All stock. Stock settings on the P-Core. What's my RAM at though? Is my RAM actually at 7600 or 7800? I forgot what I changed it to. I was talking too much. Thanks everybody. Welcome, Awaka. Welcome to the Discord channel. Again, thank you for the donation. Stock, memory, stock. Okay, I have to go back into the BIOS. Let's go back into this green screen here and change some things over. Because it's all stock right now. 6-core, disable hyperthreading too, so the performance will be crap. Ryzen 5 3600 or the i5 8400. Probably the i5 8400 to be honest. They would outperform it. That's my opinion though. Haven't really checked out the real stats versus the Ryzen 5 3600 and the i5 8400. 3rd gen Ryzen or 8th gen Intel i5. I mean, pretty sure the 8th gen will win. Back into the BIOS here. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. No way. Ugh. Too slow. Too slow. I'm reading. I should read faster. What temperature are we at here? Let's see if we can get a better overclock going. Maybe do 5.4 gigahertz. How often will I know his dip on? Oh, quite a bit. It's like every 30 seconds. Or Don't tell me I missed it again. Come on. No way. I keep missing it. It's too fast, man. It's too fast. This is on normal boot speed. Imagine fast boot. Oh, jeez. My frames is double compared to Ryzen AMD 770 with 4090. Same settings. Yeah, see, double for frames. And then he won't have the actual AM dip as well, which will go below your refresh rate of the monitor. The 0.1% are not as... Yo, way! How am I missing it? How am I that slow? I gotta stop reading, guys. Stop messaging me. I'm not talking to you, okay? I'm not talking to you. I gotta get this done. Gotta look at the codes, not the screen. Not the codes. The codes. Yes, the codes. Not the screen. Alright! We made it into the BIOS this time around. No, I'm not reading the message. That took way too long. That's only on normal boot speed. Imagine. Just imagine on fast boot. Be like, boom, into Windows. Ah, dang. I missed it again. We got... What do you want to test out? I mean, CL28's pretty good for RAM speed. Try AMD with CL28. You should try AMD with CL28. See where you get. I'm on 5 gigahertz on the ring core on this one too, so we'll do that. We'll just do it. And it should be strictly... Yes, manual. Disable hypothrotting, that's good. Black Myth. How much you get? Post it in Discord server. What, my donation? It was a lot. No, he's talking about the frames. Where? There we go. Yeah, enabled, disabled. Okay, that looks right. Voltage is 5 gigahertz to 1.275, looks right. 6400, it looks fine. CL28, 42, 760, 680. Yeah, these actually look fairly good for timings. Fairly good for timings, I'll take them. So we should be good for this. It's CL28. It's only CL28. Like only CL28. CL28 DDR5 is actually really hard to get. Even at 6400 mega transfers per second, by the way. It's under general. What's the last good Intel CPU without issues out of the box? There's no issues with the Intel CPUs. It was the motherboard manufacturers, man. Motherboard manufacturers enabled extreme OC mode, which is for like me and the extreme overclockers. Extreme OC mode will let you go to these different kind of parameters that are built in every Intel i9 CPU, which is the 500 amp and up to 1.6 volts or more. And the motherboard manufacturers put that on stock settings onto the Intel chips, so that way they can make their motherboards seem better than one another. Intel implemented a procedure fiber, something like that, into their CPUs from here on out that will limit motherboard manufacturers to only go to max performance and not the extreme OC mode. To go into extreme OC mode, you have to manually tune it, and since now Intel has AI in their systems and they implemented this procedure, if you go into that extreme OC mode and you break your CPU from too much voltage with too much heat, it will save that into a cache file built onto the actual architect, and when you go to warranty it, they'll say, hey, you use these parameters, you use these voltages, sorry, no warranty. Because Intel is completely done with these motherboard manufacturers. Intel ate the warranty on them, and now this is it, man. Like, I called this months ago, over 3 months ago now. I called this over 3 months ago. It was a motherboard manufacturers and instability on the actual your actual system with XMP was kind of the RAM manufacturer's fault, but only because Intel was more focused on their 20A and their 18A nodes, where they make the money. You think our CPUs cost a lot of money? Go look at the 20A nodes and the 18A nodes. that have been manufactured now by TSCM because Intel was now trying to focus on us consumers. Us consumers make them very little money compared to what their investors give them for their 20A nodes and 18A node. Okay, so they weren't looking at what the motherboard manufacturers are doing, and the motherboard manufacturers had too much leniency with their newer CPUs and actually did harm to their Intel CPUs, and Intel didn't even know until about 2.5 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. Intel actually found out. I called this over 3 months ago. Okay, I called this over 3 months ago in one of my videos. So if you want to go watch my videos, learn some stuff, I have stuff on my channel. There's a lot. There's a lot to learn, man. A lot that no one else even figured out, no one even thought about, no one wanted to talk about because they're sponsored by AMD. And the people that's bashed Intel, by the way, bashed them with the degrading CPUs, they were sponsored by AMD. Because AMD found out about the problem in that too, about the degrading CPUs. AMD didn't know as the motherboard manufacturers, but they paid other content creators, influencers and that to bash Intel about the degrading CPUs. And guess what? Intel still has 78% of the CPU market even after that. Is there nothing under general oh yeah. Yeah, man. I hear you, Joe. I hear you. I hear you. I don't know if you know how to use Discord, but ask anybody. Results are posted under general. Yeah, you got not general chat, but general. Now it should be at 6,400 megatrans per second, CL28. I would love to see some people do CL28 on their AMD chips, by the way. If you have CL28 on one of your AMD chips, please let me know. You probably have one of the greatest CPUs from AMD ever for DDR5. Well, okay, let's run 3D Mark Vantage. This is a GTX 770, by the way, so it's not a good GPU. To 12600K, only at 5 gigahertz on 6 cores. Not 6 core, 12 threads on 6 cores. It's only at 5 gigahertz. So let's just run. Let's have a good time now. This guy in OCPC server under general is just high channel, bro. I'm checking. Give me one sec. See what's going on. You're on general? Yeah, he's on general. So you're Taka or Awaka? Because you can just, yeah, if you're in general, I see you. What's up? And the guy on YouTube, lol. The way to test the game is on 720p with lowest settings to put all the stress on the CPU and run the benchmark. Oh, right. Or disable rebar, it give nice little performance. Okay. Where do I go to run benchmark? And am the 7800X 3D guy. Okay. Okay, gotcha. I can't run Black Myth Wukong right now, by the way. I can run tests that are downloaded and don't need or require the actual internet. So right now my overclocking PC does not have internet. So that'll have to be for a different time. Off topic. I don't know who made that, but good job of making that channel. I have to go back to... Actually, I guess I could. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's the popular belief that Intel was only at fault. Yeah, it was the popular belief. Remember, AMD is good at marketing, so they'll put their people out onto certain forums that a lot of people go to. And if that forum gets talked a lot about certain CPUs and that, if you Google search will go to the most relevant or max chat about. And AMD is good at marketing and investing their money into marketing. So that way, if you Google something and say, what CPU is better and this and that, it'll always say AMD is better for price to performance. Not better than Intel, better for price to performance. Not better, though. They never say anything about the AM dip. They never say anything like that. And then you get a bunch of fanboys in that. At this guy, you are Nicholas. How can you really tell if Intel themselves didn't know? How did it slip? Because in Intel and all, they did, man. They tried. Okay, so if you actually check on forums and keep up with like extreme overclocking and actual like Intel, AMD, Nvidia, and all these other manufacturers like motherboard manufacturers, if you actually go to certain forums, they've actually talked about this problem over 2 years ago when the 13900K came out. The issue arise. People are going like the voltages seem off. It shouldn't be hitting these kinds of not frequencies, but these types of amperage, and these actual voltages should not be applying to it due to the fact that Intel specs are at these. And guess what? Intel didn't know because Intel was more focused on their 18A and their 20A nodes. Okay, and if you go search up or watch some of my videos about the 20A nodes and the 18A nodes, you will find out that Intel makes way more money with their investors on the 18A node and the 20A node, which they had to pass off to TSCM, which is another CPU manufacturer that will actually make the chips with lithography. They will actually manufacture chips and take on contracts from other CPU manufacturers, such as like AMD, Intel, and a bunch of other ones though. But TSCM is a huge CPU manufacturing company, and Intel had to pass off their 20A nodes to them. Their 18A nodes, they're hoping to keep on because the investors are more happy now with the implementations that they did with their upcoming CPUs, as in motherboard manufacturers are limited to what they can actually do with the K variant CPUs. The issue arose with the i9 series, the i9 13900 and i9 14900K CPUs, because they can actually hit a different parameter than every other CPU. The 500 amp, 1.6 volt and up parameter. It's a parameter built into the actual CPU of the 13900Ks and the 1400Ks. It's literally built into the CPU for extreme overclockers. Not for motherboard manufacturers, for extreme overclockers. Motherboard manufacturers implemented the extreme OC mode into their actual boards, their high-end boards more or less, and made it so that way their boards could perform better than another board, basically. ASUS had the most problems with it because they implemented this procedure and did a lot. In the BIOS of ASUS boards with the 13900K and the 1400K, they're in the BIOS and the CPU was sitting at 1.6 volts. Does that make sense? Stock settings 1.6 volts. That CPU only needs a maximum of 1.4 volts to run, yet it's sitting in the BIOS at 1.6 volts. How does that make sense? Intel didn't put that in there. Intel didn't say stock settings at 1.6 volts. That's not stock settings. That's extreme OC mode, different parameter settings, which only the motherboard manufacturers did. Intel did not know about it because they did not invest their time into it. They invested into 18A nodes and 20A nodes because they make more money. Us consumers do not make Intel money. The investors for the 18A and 20A nodes make them money, okay? I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible, but I've already talked about this I don't know how many times. I bet Hart here's like, man, he's talking about this again. This is like the 30th time he's talked about this. Sorry, Hart. You're not the owner of User Benchmark, are you? No. I do like User Benchmark, though. They make fun of AMD because AMD blackmailed them. AMD paid people to go over to certain forums and say all these nasty things about them. So User Benchmark now puts in some really funny things. But also User Benchmark comes out with true facts, like content creators are actually being paid by AMD, and I searched all this up. It's all true. Everything that User Benchmark said about this 7800X3D versus the 14900K, everything that they said about the 7800X3D is true. Everything, down to the last detail. I also said it months ago. People must be getting paid off. People have been paid off by AMD to say certain things about it. It's cool though. Whatever. People don't want to believe me. It's cool. I have my community that supports and follows me. Again, thank you to my donators. Again, thank you for donating to me for the MX4 by Arctic 45 gram tube. For my donators on this stream, again, thank you very much. For the people that have sent me stuff, I'm still currently waiting for it. Should be here within next week, though. And once I do, I'll give you a shout out for that, and I'll try to get some world records on it. Well, not world records, because that's a different parameter on the hardwarebot.org, but I'll try to get some golds and some records. 18A, yeah, you got it, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, their 1.8 nanometers, a different thing than their 18A. Yeah, makes sense if you want to destroy. And AMD wants to promote themselves, which is smart. Promoting yourselves is smart. But making sure that other big manufacturers or big companies get kind of blackmailed or hated on by AMD fanboys or just by people that have been paid off just to say certain things, not smart. User Benchmark don't care about you. User Benchmark, if you look at the actual tests they use, it works for AMD and it works for Intel. It works for NVIDIA and AMD and Intel and NVIDIA, right? So the graphics cards test, all graphics cards do certain parameters and are ran on certain kind of tests to make sure the GPUs are performing around the same specs or doing the exact same tests. Just because AMD does not perform as well as NVIDIA is because AMD does not perform as well as NVIDIA. Intel has actually stepped up with their GPUs with their new drivers BIOS update and given it about a 50% uplift, by the way. So if you have not updated your drivers on the Intel GPU, like your A770 and that, you should update it. You'll have about a 50% gain in most games and tests. So very smart. It is dirty work, man. So 99% of people are wrong. Damn, I don't know. That's hard. What do you mean 99% of people are wrong? What do you mean 99% of people wrong? All the people that have been bought and paid for by AMD said nothing but good. All the people that were not bought by AMD because they will not be sponsored by them and does not want to have any part of them because guess what? They've tested the actual, they will buy with their own money. If I keep getting the donations that I have, I will buy AMD products and I'll test it against my 12600K. I'll test it against the 13900K. I'll test it against the 14900K. I would invest my money into buying more products of AMD and test it for showing these AMD fanboys going, this is your AMD versus Intel. This is your AMD versus NVIDIA. This is your choice of PC components that you're buying versus Intel, the prices and all that, and it doesn't make sense for performance. Right now, AMD price to performance versus Intel's is not even close now. Intel price to performance is better right now, just because things are a lot cheaper for Intel. That's going to stir them up. Yeah, man. Oh, User Benchmark. No, User Benchmark's awesome. Yeah, it's funny, yeah, but you should go on to it. If you go on to it and read back on their old AMD and that, they say nothing but good stuff about AMD and that, and then they make one funny thing about AMD, and AMD didn't like that, so they literally paid people to go to certain forums and all that to say all these hateful stuff about it. But now User Benchmark, because they don't care, they literally don't care. They do not care. They literally say what content creators are actually being paid. Certain people are being paid by AMD because you can literally search up everything you want to know. If you search up in the right thing and actually read it in the right spots, AMD has not actually paid someone to go in like delete that or something yet, so you can actually go find it out. But they literally say the 7800 X3D versus 14900K, you can literally get more performance with a 13600K than a 7800 X3D for most games, for most tests. The 13600K outperforms it. If you want to have even more performance, though, for $100 more than a 13600K, $100 more, a 13700K is a great option. If you're an enthusiast in that, you can buy yourself a 1300K and absolutely smack this 7800 X3D. By the way, they also say the 5800 X3D also outperforms the 7800 X3D, which is an older CPU than the new CPUs. And it's true. You can literally do these tests. You can go back through all of these content creators that do the test. Gamers Nexus did a new one, I believe, too, showing the 5800 X3D because they weren't sponsored on that video, by the way. They were sponsored back when the 9950 X3D came out, back in October. Now, whatever, they've made some more new videos now, but this newer one video that I watched, the 5800 X3D does outperform the 7800 X3D in majority of tests and games. Does not make sense how an older CPU outperforms the newer one with the same 3D cache. That does not make sense, and you're paying way more for this new CPU, but you could have stayed with the 5800 X3D and got more performance in the same game. Does that make sense? No, it does not. It does not. It does not. Alright, have a good one, man. I would love people to try to say I'm wrong in that, but these facts are facts. This is the little truth. Literal truth. I will not lie. There's no point of lying about these things. I wish I had the money to show you AMD versus Intel, but I don't. I currently do not. I invest my money in more hardware. It doesn't matter if it's old or new. I am a collector of GPUs. I have about 30 of them. So, I don't know. And yeah, a lot of them are older AMD and ATI before AMD. Before AMD bought ATI, really. But seriously, like, I have AMD stuff. I have the old AMD CPUs, the old GPUs of AMD. Not the new stuff. So I don't want to invest. Well, I would like to buy some, but the price to me is too much for what I'm doing with them. I'm only going to do benchmarking on them. Like extreme benchmarking on them. Mod them, probably. I've owned a RX 6700 XT, by the way. I mean, not bad. 45,285. Not great, but that's again a GTX 770. It's a 2 GB card. So it's not great. Plus it's only on 6 cores. It's only on 6 cores. I feel cheated intellectually. Nah, it's in some things AMD beats Intel. Some. Intel beats AMD at 85 to 90% of all the games and other like whatever you want to use. It's just facts, man. I wish I could say I'm wrong. I wish I could, but there's too much facts out there. So the fix for 1314 Gen Bobos is to turn off the Extreme OC profile, and that's it. No, you actually had to change the microcode. It's something the motherboard manufacturers implemented into the actual motherboards, so you actually have to change the microcode so that way it will not kick in. So that way it won't kick in the actual what the motherboard manufacturers have set in their motherboards to get into the actual Extreme OC mode into the actual architecture of the CPU. It's a little more complicated than what it sounds. Yeah, the microcode will fix it, but the Extreme OC just changing that won't, sadly. It's hard put into the motherboards. That's why the motherboard manufacturers, it was harder for the motherboard it's harder for Intel to figure out what was wrong with the motherboard or to figure out that the motherboard manufacturers were actually at fault or part of the fault. Again, Intel is part of the fault. They gave them too much leniency. Back in Intel's 4th gen CPUs, they implemented some things, and then on that certain part of the CPU of the architect, they're putting in a new part that's right into that same kind of architect, like wherever that is on the CPU. That's going to make it so motherboard manufacturers have a limit of what they can do with stock settings. Because it's literally built into the motherboard to change the stock settings of the Intel to actually go into it. You actually cannot just change the max profile or the extreme OC profile. It's built into the motherboard, right? For stock settings. And we're talking about stock settings. We're not talking about the... Have you ever heard of frame chasers? Jufus? Have you ever heard of him? He makes those crazy PCs for extreme COD boys and that. None of them had CPU failure. None of them had a single issue because he manually tuned every single CPU core. He tuned every single RAM stick manually, which was set to a different parameter on its own. So that way, the voltages that he set would only go to those voltages. It would not be stock settings that was built into the motherboard on stock settings. Stock settings with stock settings. As soon as you start changing it manually to manually, so like the extreme OC mode will have to be manually done, it completely changes it. All right. What is up, heart? Don't go breaking my heart. Yeah. Don't go breaking my heart. Yeah, and trust me, I would like to say it's wrong, but I also said back in older videos, again, if you guys want to learn stuff, just go back into my older stuff. It's not good. The video quality is not good. The sound isn't as good as it is now. Like, I've changed a lot. I've had a lot from help from my community. I've had a lot of people donate to me, and I've had a lot of time to figure stuff out about this whole YouTube stuff. I don't generally do YouTube stuff. I don't generally do these streams. I just got a capture card, by the way, so that way I can show my extreme OC modes, extreme overclockings on my CPUs and GPUs and my RAM. Like, I just got into it. So I'm hoping everything's sounding good still. I hope everything's looking good still. And I hope everyone that's been supporting me since the beginning has seen the improvement. Again, thank you all for your donations, for your time, for your views, for your hours watched. It's amazing. Do you recommend a switch out for AM6 to save money on Mobo? I don't know. Like, if you have the money, I would stick with Intel. Like, I'm not sure what you're running currently, chicken. Yeah, if you just let me know what you're currently running, like your actual PC specs, I'll let you know whether or not you should switch out anything. And are you a gamer? Are you an editor? Are you a streamer? Like, what do you do? If you're a streamer, I would invest your money into. I have a 9950. Oh yeah, that's right. XE. Oh yeah, the Nova. It's a decent board, by the way. The Nova. Doesn't matter. It's AMD. It's still a decent board. I'm a gamer and streamer. I would keep that, and I would invest into an actual gaming PC. Are you a first-person shooter though, like a frames per second kind of gamer, or what do you do? I like to know what the person's doing. That's why I like people going to my Discord. I help out my people in Discord the best I can. It's kind of hard doing it from here, right? But I try my best. I don't know if he's still here. Mo, though, I've been helping him out, trying to figure out what's wrong with his computer. So far, we figured out that the RAM is, the motherboard that he got on liquidation for $25 does not like the RAM being over 3000 megahertz at all. So we just changed his parameters back to stock settings on 2666 DDR4, and he seems to be pretty good on that. He was crashing again while we switched it over, told him to switch over the RAMs because a lot of things are RAM issues, especially on some motherboards, and he's gaming again. He's back up in gaming. I like CS and Val, but for a single player I want to start playing Star Citizen and Cerreto Racing. I've heard a lot about that game. Yeah, it's true heart. There's so many people are sheeps, right? They follow on whatever um, one person is saying, or what one person, because they have all these followers. Oh, since they have so many followers, so many views and all this, oh, we'll just go on that. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. You have to go on something that's uh, again, like Frame Chasers. He's not really sponsored by a whole lot. He does get sponsors, but he's allowed to do whatever he wants because of the contracts he agrees to, and that's because of his community. His community just keeps donating to him, keeps giving him. So he does like these consultations and that too, and people, you get them, and yeah, it costs a lot of money, but again, you're taking a lot of time away from that person's life, from his streaming, from what he makes money on. So you have to make account for all that too, and he's gonna get you up and running. He's gonna get everything fixed up, but you have to pay for it. And right now, I currently do it for free on the Discord. So if you want to join my Discord, I'll help you out the best I can. Yeah, so I would keep what you have, really. Especially if you're gonna go into Star Citizen. AMD apparently is pretty good for that game. So I would just invest your money into a secondary PC, so that way you can get a capture card and stream off of it. All right, that's what I can say there. Because if you are gonna get into the Star Citizen, that game, that other racing game there, AMD is actually pretty good for it. But yeah, I would invest into like an Intel PC, so that way if you want to do some first-person shooter games and stuff like that, you can just switch over the video capture card to that PC, and boom, you got a really good first-person shooter PC. And it's not even like you have to go straight up to the best of Intel to get good performance. 13600K you can pick up fairly cheap. Motherboard you can pick up fairly cheap. Pick up a decent NVIDIA, or if you want, an AMD graphics card. Fairly cheap. And make a really good streaming PC and a really good first-person shooter PC. So that way you have different choices. Okay, I gotta go out and I got to... whoops, I gotta make my screen bigger here. I'm using one monitor right now, so I'm just literally using OBS to see my second PC, my overclocking PC. That's fine. I find it's the easiest way. But, oh, click the wrong button. Because I gotta try to get 8,000 working. I would like 8,000 working nice and stable for Geekbench 3. It'll give me some records. Hopefully. It's hard to get records when you only got 12,600K right now. Don't go breaking my heart. My old PC has 900K. It's a great CPU, man. First silver soldered, or soldered STIM, so STIM. It's first soldered die. The first soldered CPU. i9 9900K for Intel cores. Xeons. The Xeons were one of the first ones to be actual soldered. So 13 or 14-year-old CPUs, they're Xeons. Those are like one of the first ones to be soldered, which is better for thermal conductivity than paste, or what a lot of people call it, toothpaste, because that's what it really was, crappy thermal paste. It did me good for a while, though. Very smooth when it worked. Yeah, man. Still is. 8-core, 16-thread, man. It was a hot CPU, but you can easily get a 5 gigahertz overclock. And if you had some water cooling, you can do 5.2 gigahertz fairly easy on it. So that's why a lot of people liked it. So we're going to change some of these RAM settings, by the way. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat for a second. Don't go breaking my heart. And I gotta change it from CL28 to CL36, 44, 42, yep. We'll do 800, 600. That should be good enough. And we'll do 7400. And we'll check out. Okay, I'm cool with that for now. Should work. Should work just fine. Yeah, I had a i7 6700. Like I said, I overclocked the snot out of it, even though you can't overclock the i7 6700, but you can if you had a certain Asus Z170A Pro motherboard with a version 1 BIOS, a non-updated BIOS. You can overclock it though. It's motherboard manufacturers. They can really get away with stuff. A lot of people don't realize motherboard manufacturers get away with a lot of things. And Asus got in a lot of trouble for making it so you can overclock the i7 6700, not even the K version. By the way, why are half the new AMD mobiles not able to even boot at 8000 despite the bolt? Yes, they can't. They, they can't. You have to manually tune to get that. You can't. Not even Intel, really, but some people got lucky. It was able to get 8200 stable, or get an XMP, just boom, 8000. But that's more from 2-DIMM motherboards. AMD doesn't matter if you had a 2-DIMM motherboard. 8000 is next to impossible, basically. You had to be like extremely god tier on the motherboard, the actual RAM sticks you got, and the CPU you got to hit 8000. Intel, at least you had some sort of leniency of tuning it to get to 8000. And like I said, it's probably because of the Infinity Fabric, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. I haven't done enough testing on it to say for certain, but most likely the Infinity Fabric. Don't go. This is 7400's okay timings. I have Hynix A die, 2 sticks, 32GB, CL32. Yep, Hynix A die. You can tune it. If you want to look at my my actual like primary timings, not really. Sorry, not primary timings, secondary timings. You can probably plug every single thing in and get it onto your Hynix A die, and you can lower TRFC. What motherboard do you have? Oh wait, you have the 9950X. So you can't actually do it. Sorry, you can't do it. You can't do any of my actual timings. Sorry, you got AMD. You can't do that. My bad. If you had Intel, but are they Expo or are they XMP? If they're Expo, those are AMD. If they're XMP, they're Intel. But if they're XMP and you get yourself a nice new Intel system, you can probably easily get 8000 out of them with some really good timings. Like crazy timings, man. You can put TRFC2 down to about, what, 500, and you put TRFC PB or TRFC4 on Asus boards down to like 400 or 380. Yeah, they're made for AMD. My MDI gonna arrive next month. I'm gonna try achieve 8000. I've gotten 8000. I've actually gotten 8200. Yeah, I've gotten 8200 mega transfers per second on a 4-DIMM board. Well, it all depends on how well you tune, right? But yeah, you can't really get 8000 on Hynix MDI, by the way, or you just gotta be really good at tuning it to be able to actually do that. So if you're really hoping to get 8000 working, you gotta have the 2-DIMM motherboard, or like the Apex. Is that almost 14? That's pretty good. 13,506. That's okay. We gotta do a little bit more tuning though. I want to get over 14, close to 15,000 on the memory multi. I'll be pretty happy. But yeah, like I said, 8000. It's not megahertz anymore, buddy. It's mega transfers per second. So MT-S is what we gotta talk about now, not megahertz. Do you know game tech reviews? I don't do a whole lot of watch these viewers and that, or these content creators. I do forum searches and I look on the actual manufacturers' websites for what they've talked about and what they are doing, or what you're allowed to do with their whatever product, right? So like if I have Gigabyte, if I bought a Gigabyte thing, I search on Gigabyte, that exact model and that. and I'll search up everything about that. I'll search on forums about what people have done with it, what you can do it with it, what you shouldn't do with it, and I'll implement my own kind of thing into it. That's what I do. I don't care about content creators because they're paid. Like Linus Tech Tips, he can literally say one thing one day, the next day he has the same kind of product but a different brand, and literally will say it's good. Oh, we're switching to that. Like, you literally just said you're going to be using this, implementing this into your actual daily stuff, and now, like, literally a week later, they're implementing a different thing, a different product that does the exact same thing. I don't get it. But I might have heard of them, but it's not ringing any bell, bud. We'll do 7600. Try and see if that will work around the same frequency or the same TRFC2. Probably not, but we'll see. Linus is entertainment. Yeah, he's entertainment now. Yeah, he's a reviewer, right? That's kind of what he's always been. He was an overclocker at one point, but he became a reviewer, and then now, yeah, entertainment now. So that way he can get more views from younger generation, and can still get the views from the older generation because they're stuck with him. I mean, I can't hate on him. He's my Canadian buddy. I mean, I'm Canadian as well. Okay, this is 74 or 7600 megatransfers per second, exact same timing. So if we're stable throughout this test, we should be around 13,700 to 13,800 just from that. So decent. We're gonna be probably around the 14,000 on the memory, which I'll be pretty happy with. And then we'll try to get 7800 stable. We'll have to raise TRFC and probably raise the cast latency up. I'm running a Z690 ORS Master. It's a 4-DIMM board. I use a little bit of everything. Just a little bit of everything. Yeah. I'm running a custom mono block for CPU and motherboard. So it's the Momentum 2 by EK, designed for the Z690 ORS Master. I got the Z690 ORS Master. I got it broken, fixed it up, made it work. I'm running 2x24 gigabyte, so 48 gigabyte kit, Corsair Dominator Titanium, Hynix M-Die, CL36, 7200 mega transfer per second XMP, but the XMP for the 7400 mega transfer per second doesn't work, but I can get this kit up to 7800 fairly easy by my own tuning with way better specs. I never really bought anything in those videos. Nah, me too, man. Me either. I buy what I research, and if it's on for a really good price, even if it's broken, I'll buy it. If it's like within that price range of broken for me, then I know I can probably fix it, or probably fix it, I'll buy it. Like that GTX 770 on the other stream not too long ago. Bought it, very, very cheap. Did not work. Hart was going to unsub for me if I didn't get it working, so I had to make sure I got it working. Look at him now. He's still with me. He's been with me since the beginning. And he's still here. He's still here somehow. I don't know why. Because I keep proving him that I can do it. Yep. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? I call my scores. I call my scores all the time, buddy. What did I say? 13,000 to 13,800 or 13,700. We'll get at 13,815 on the memory multi-core score. Called it. Called it. All right. I usually call my scores because I've done this quite a bit. So I hope AM6 gets rid of dual CCD arc. The latency is bad. Yep. It is. With my timings and all that, I can get my latency down to about 38 nanoseconds. So, like, right around DDR4, some decent tuned DDR4. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, if you do IDA 64 and all that, you can figure out your latency and all that. I can do up to 110 gigabits per second on it, too, which is right around 13 or 14900K with some decent overclock on it. I'm using 12600K right now. It's all about how well you can tune things, not what you get though. When I had the 1300K, I got it up to what, 6.6 gigahertz on P's and something like almost 5 gigahertz on the E's. The wattage though. The wattage though. I missed it. The wattage though, 600 watts. 600 watts overclocked. Absolutely insane. On the CPU. Just a CPU. I should show some of my 3070 Ti scores though. I do have records on them that haven't been beaten yet. Apparently M5 is with us until 2027. Wow. Hey, look at me. Look, it's Heart. Hi, Heart. That's crazy though. AM5 until 2027. That's good there though. I mean, that is good. Cannot complain about that, right? Frame Chaser said 950X was very impressive, but one thing killed it for him, the different max frequencies on the two. Yeah, man. You're literally losing performance because of the frequency. You need frequency for first-person shooters. It's all about core frequency. And RAM tuning too, but I mean more like core frequency than anything. If you don't have a good core frequency, with AMD does not have good core frequency. That's why Intel always beats it, because the core frequency. By the way, AMD only beats the Intel for like Counter-Strike 2 and other first-person shooters on the actual frames by like 20 frames, but the actual lows and 1% lows were like horrendous for AMD. That's why it's not good. Because if you're an actual gamer, you're not going to like an AMD CPU. That's if you're an actual gamer, though. 800 and 600, that's not terrible. Let's see if we can push this down to 460. Push this down to 760. That should give us some fairly good points there, to be honest. 36, that's fine. Make sure all these are set to where I want it. Yep, not terrible. I can take that. That should help some performance though, so we should be right around 14,000 after that, as long as it's stable. 5.7 gigahertz, 1 CCD 0, and 5.4 on CCD 1. Huge difference, man. Huge. 300 megahertz is a lot nowadays. A lot. Back with the old like Athlons and that would be nothing. You can like overclock them double the speed. Now you can't do double the speed unless you're on liquid nitrogen. Actually, even on liquid nitrogen, you can't double the speed. Because then again, we're also at a hardware limit, like I said before. Yeah, we're loading. This is actually not half bad TRFC timings. So refresh rate timings. Sweet. Kind of happy about that. Don't go breaking me heart. Again, if you're just joining the stream, welcome. Again, to all my donators this stream. You're helping out me greatly and the community. To all my subscribers as well. Thank you so much, my viewers. My daily viewers, again, thank you. Heart, I know you're still there. If you want to go to Discord channel, we do have a Discord channel. I thank Frosty for that one. He's been helping me greatly on that. He is a moderator. Don't go breaking me heart. So it should be right around 14,000 on the actual memory multi-core. I might be dumb, but how do CPUs not freeze and stop working around liquid nitrogen? You gotta have... There is cold bugs, so there is cold bugs, and there's different, even though you have the same CPU, let's say, let's just go on my Xeons. Let's say I get a Xeon, it has a stepping 2, like a B2 stepping, and I have a B0 stepping, okay? Even though it's the same Xeon, X5650, let's say that, and I have a 2 stepping or a 0 stepping, the 0 stepping will be able to handle more, like, colder temperatures than the two-stepping. The two-stepping will not be able to handle colder temperatures, but will be able to handle higher temperatures at higher clock frequencies. The colder temperatures or cold bugs happen on certain chips, certain motherboards too, but they won't freeze up because all the voltage that goes through them is going to be a lot more voltage than what we actually put through our CPUs. That is why. Like generally on liquid nitrogen, we're going to be running 1.6, 1.7 volts on the CPU. I run 2 volts on my DDR3, by the way, 2 volts on air. And if you go on liquid nitrogen, you're going to be wanting to put in like over 2 volts into your RAM, so that way you can get way higher frequencies than what anyone else can. And again, you need certain kits of RAM to be able to do that, though. But you won't actually have issues or as much issues for colder temperatures. So liquid nitrogen, negative 198 degrees Celsius, and you also got liquid helium, which goes down to almost negative 400, so a lot cooler. Like I said, stepping 0 or B0 stepping on your CPU is going to be able to handle the cold better. Or let's say you're one of them people that can get those ES chips right away from the manufacturers. Those ES chips may have a lower clock rate or boost rate than normal chips for us consumers, but they also can handle the cold better. And you just gotta crank in the actual voltage. The voltage doesn't actually kill your CPU. The temperature with the voltage will, because that's what happens. And also the stability of the CPU increases. So let's say I put in 1.6 volts into the CPU at 0 degrees Celsius. There'll be interference due to the heat buildup throughout the actual trace that's put into it, or the transistors in that too, right? So there's a lot of things that go in with it. Yeah, yeah. You just gotta crank in voltages. You can't, you gotta watch what you're doing still, because you don't want to do too much. Ooh, not stable. It's okay. I know what we can do. Incredible how the voltage, yeah, keeps people free. The voltage does, but again, it's not just the voltage. There's, even though, again, you have the same CPU, you're going to want to look for ES CPUs if you're going extreme temperatures, or B0 stepping. Those have always been proven to handle the colder temperatures better than any other CPU. Other stepping CPU. Doesn't matter, they're the same. They're going to have different steppings, different versions of them. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I don't want that. I want that. I want task manager. Boom. And some processes here, which I still don't have my best NVMe drive, my Windows 10 Pro stripped down. This is Windows 11, so not the greatest, but still fine. Let's pass this one this time. Yeah, not a lot of people know as much as some people do. I have taken my time to do a lot of research, and I try to give only facts, and I won't tell you to do certain things with your CPUs or GPUs or motherboard. I'll just let you know what I know, and I'll let you know what's safe or not safe. I'm glad you learned something. That's all this channel's about, is learning new things and helping people learn new things as well. Alright, so this should be around 14,000 on it. Almost there. 13,812, so still not great. But I already know how I can increase that as well. Because we're not lowering the TRFC as low as what we can do. But it's very hard to keep stable at this frequency unless you raise the TRFC, because that's going to help stability. If I can get enough donations to actually help me out, yeah, I'll buy the 1590. Yeah, again, my community has been helping me get, like I said, thermal paste Again, donators on this stream as well, thank you as well. Help me probably get a CPU where I can probably help Canada get up to first place this year for the World Cup. That's what I'm looking to do. So if I can get myself a 13900K or 14900K, I will definitely buy one, show some tests on that too. If I can get enough money for the 1590s, of course I will. But right now I currently do not have enough money myself. And like I said, if I get like those kind of graphics cards, I'm gonna modify them. I'll modify them. I don't keep a lot of things stock, especially if I'm doing this overclocking. I don't like to keep things stock. Again, I'm at 5 gigahertz on ring ratio on a 12 600K, so that is really high. So we'll lower this down to 4.6 on the low and 4.8 on the high. That also helps stability overall. Ooh, cast latency 38, 46, 46, 36. Keep that right around there. See if we can get 7800 stable at this. And I'll save this profile to the 8400G, which is the 8400 gear mode 4. Oh, I don't need that. How much better you think it'll be than the 4090? Probably not much better. No, they'll probably be a 5 to 15% max. No, it's not gonna be that much better, buddy. Sorry, we're close to our hardware limit. We're so close to a hardware limit, and not unless the GPU is gonna be 800 watts, then yeah, it won't be that much of an uplift. I'm sorry to say. I wish I could say that. It'd be awesome, but since we're so close to our CPU and GPU hardware limit, and that's due to having everything built on silicon, it's not gonna be that high. 7800. Decent timings too. I'm gonna have to end some processes though to get this stable for the test. But yeah, 7800 now. So if you do have a 4DIMM board, let me know if you have a 4DIMM board and have gotten up to 7800 mega transfers per second with some decent timings. That'd be awesome to know. Because I know with my board, the Z690 Wars Master, I am one of the highest memory overclockers for it. And I'm only using Hynix M die for frequency. Hynix A die is better for frequency. Okay, should be right there. I will buy the 50 Titan Ti. You love your Titans. Yeah, I gotta get some old Titan XPs. I would like to get some of them too. Overclock them, see what I can do with them. Ooh, did we crash? I think we crashed. Crash. We gotta redo the test, see if it'll work. Yeah, I got the 3070 Ti, like I said, but it outbeats 1600 XTs on liquid nitrogen and some 6900 XTs that are put on liquid nitrogen, so I'm happy about that. I don't even have a 3090 Ti to say I have it. Oh, we're getting there. I wonder if we're going to beat DFFT. If it's going to pass SFFT. Let's see. Yeah. DFFT. Yeah. Passed. Okay. Should be 14,000 and up. That should be 14,000 and up. Okay, I'm happy about that. Ooh, memory's terrible actually. What happened? I have to rerun the test because the memory was absolute terrible. Let's see what's going on there, because we got lower score even though we had higher clock frequency with a really good TRFC. Oh, guess not. Bank cycle time 82 though. 38 though. I don't get why we're at 38. Restart. Why are we at 38? We're only at 7600. We should be at 7800. What happened? What happened, guys? What happened? Oh, still the same. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Again, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my donors. Thank you to my community. Thank you to Frosty for the Discord channel, for being my moderator, because I just don't have enough time. I have to promote myself on a lot of different kind of platforms, and I have to keep learning new stuff. Can you use XTU to tune memory in real time? XTU? No. And if you want to tune memory in real time, it's not recommended. You can break your operating system, so your OS, and you'd have to use like Easy Tune, and you have to set it in the BIOS to allow you to actually tune it in the operating system. But it's not recommended because you can break your operating system. I've done it. I've had to reinstall Windows because I overclocked too much on the operating system on memory. So it's just not recommended. That's why I haven't really shown it, because then you wouldn't have this green screen. Again, I apologize for the green. We're at 7600. I don't get why we're at 7600. Oh, that's right. I never changed it. Keep that. This one I want to change. 7800. Timings. That's fine. This, we got to go like 860. Put this to 560. See if we can be stable there. And we'll put it into that one. Okay. There. I don't know why it does green screen in BIOS, but whatever. Yeah, it's always better in BIOS. Yep. Yep. Doing everything in the BIOS that should be done in BIOS is better. XTU, you will lose performance. Like if I do overclocking and I use XTU, I will technically lose performance. The only thing that's good with XTU, and you have to set it so that way it uses less like process priority, you set it to below normal. And then what you can do with that, because in the BIOS of some motherboards, it sets the AVX offset to 0.008, which gives it somewhat of an offset, so it doesn't utilize full CPU power on AVX2. AVX2, by the way, yeah, not enough. I gotta raise TRFC more. TRFC2, by the way, not TRFC, sorry. When the 5th gen SSDs run hot, I got a cooler for it. Otherwise, yeah, oh yeah, they're really, really hot. Someone else in the Discord channel, one of my donators, by the way, he does a lot of server stuff. He works with a lot of Gen 5, and absolutely insane what he does with them. But yeah, you really gotta watch it. But yeah, he's insane with those Gen 5s. One of his tests, he had 75 gigabytes per second read speed. 75 gig read speed. Like, absolutely insane. Just on one of his drives, something close to 20,000. Yeah, always get a fan on it. I just have a Gen 4. I have a 980 Pro, 2 terabyte. Nothing crazy. Just works. But it has like 14,000 hours on it. Probably about 4,000 hours of that is just RAM tuning. Sorry, I'm just looking at the codes to make sure I can... Yeah, 66. And I should go 99. We're good. If it goes above 60 degrees, you can start losing performance, and it should stay around 30 degrees for your SSD, for your NVMe drives, around 30 degrees. If you have it cooler than 30 degrees, you can actually lose performance as well. Don't ask me why. It's just for what I've read on forums and other people, they're saying, yeah, it has to be around 30 degrees. 35 degrees is fine, but you gotta have it up in temperature, not like 10 degrees or below 0, because you lose performance for some reason. Let's do 720. T-mod of 60. And put this to 18. Yeah, you lose performance the cooler they get for some reason. Don't ask. I don't know why. Why they get cooler or the cooler they get, the worse performance. But yeah, they gotta be around 35 degrees Celsius to be at max performance. Does overclocking CPUs and RAM in general shorten its lifespan slowly, even with correct voltages? Temperature and voltage is what degrades your RAM and CPU, because the RAM chips are still silicon in that, so like they can still go really hot. But let's say you got the microcontroller that's built on the RAM, it gets too hot. That's what can actually go first before the RAM chips. But yeah, like it can degrade. But I mean, people have 14-year-old chips that they've literally been overclocking the snot out of that still performs like they came out of the box. So yes and no. You literally need to know about voltages and uh, thermal dynamics basically on how that works with electricity. And once you start learning a bit more about how you can pump more voltage or use the same voltage but cool it down, and it will give you a better voltage overall, or increase the voltage by itself just by cooling it down, then you'll start learning more about it. That's why quantum computers are liquid nitrogen cooled, because of their processing power. They have to keep it cool, and also the power they have to give it to it needs to be as stable as possible with less interference. Interference can be caused by temperature. So there's a lot of things you gotta learn about overclocking if you want to get into it. Right now, my system, it's only 7 degrees right now, but I live in Canada, and I use antifreeze, a certain kind of antifreeze that won't destroy the seals or the tubing or any kind of issues with my system. So that way I can go below -20 and hopefully cooler this year. It'd be nice. But I can get down to -20 on water temperature, so that way I can get the CPU, and if I do, actually put water cooling on the GPU, I can get that cool too. Then you can just start cranking in the volts. The voltages that I'm at now are like what am I at? 5 gigahertz, 1.275 or 1.265 volts at 5 gigahertz. I sure did, man. One sec. That's 40 feet of tubing, so that way I can redo both my custom water loops. There's my -50 antifreeze. cost me a whole $20 because, again, I can't afford a whole lot, so I gotta make sure I do things cheap. Everything was on sale. So I was like, I gotta pick it up. I need some more. Yeah, so again, TRFC. TRFC is not like me right now. Curry, no, it's not. Cast latency is not going to help me. But yeah. Yeah. I guess I could show my PC, couldn't I? I'm going to be disappearing here. Wow, I'm still... Calm down, camera. Calm down. Alright, here we go. Oh, too far. There's my PC. Go up. Pink water. Pink antifreeze. Custom water cooled. It's a D5 pump. Silicone tubing. Some decent compression fittings for it too. 360 mil radiator. Corsair fans. What's in the CPU? The CPU is 12600K again. Custom monoblock for it. RAM, Corsair, Dominator Titanium, Z690 horse master. Yeah, that's it right now. The tubing's green right now because I had green antifreeze in it before, and it kind of dyed the tubing green. Is what it is. But yeah, that's it for now. That was it. I'll go back to me. Oh, not zoom. But yeah, and hopefully my camera can adjust here in a second so that way I'm not Mr. Brightman. Ontario. So it gets fairly cold here in the winter. Gets fairly cold. Yeah, 2.75 volts at 5 gigahertz. That's right, way below stock voltages for 12600K. I'm at 5 gigahertz, so pretty good. Pretty happy about that. 1.4, no, 1.5. We'll go 1.5 volts on the RAM. Same thing with the VDD-QAO. 1.5 volts, just to give it that little bit more. Everything on auto, though. It's not great to have everything on auto because it'll start cranking voltages if it thinks it needs it. But since everything's fairly chilly, 7 degrees in here, like I said. Not that cold, but 7 degrees, so 46. Let's go 48 just to make sure that's going to be stable. And put this to 940. And put this to 820. Oh, that should be at 18 too. There we go. Boom. Should work. I'm on the border and nice. I used to live over by Niagara Falls in Canada. Very nice place. I'm still here. I'm going to be still here, but I'm just going to do this for a second. Alright? I am still here. I'll still be looking at chat. If anyone's new to the stream, welcome. Again, thank you to my donators. Thank you to my community. Thank you to Heart for always being here. Done good breaking my heart. Oh, come on. What code? Error code 0xc0. That is memory. Oh, why? Oh, are they? I'll check. Hold on, give me a second. See what it says. There's moderators. I do have moderators on, so gotta keep it somewhat good, so that way I get more views. My videos will go out and be seen more if there's not a whole lot of swearing and the chat is fairly nice, basically. I'm getting close to being monetized, so I'm trying to make sure my streams and videos are good. Just came black in the video game. Oh, did it? I don't know what that is. Let's let it try to redo it. Probably will crash, but might work. Yeah. Crash, and it gave... Yeah. I have to change a little bit more TRC. Oh. Is your motherboard working just fine now, bud? Hopefully we solve the issue there. The one you should be on right now, right? Yeah, the B550M bazooka. Yeah, I was gonna say registered nurse. Nah, I'm not a registered nurse. That's what I thought you meant for a second. I am here, by the way. I'll be turning the camera back on in a second. Let's just see if Gear Mode 4 will even work for me. Probably not. But it will make it a little bit easier. If it does work. Yeah, for now, it's good. Yeah, what up, man? What'd you got? No, nope. I don't smoke the ganja anymore. I quit that a while ago. I'm just trying not to smoke on my streams anymore. So, there's a lot of people that don't like it, so, you know. Yeah. Plus, you never know. Kids might be watching my videos, too. I think smoking's a bad habit myself. It's just, I started at a young age, and I wish no one would ever smoke, or hopefully people are trying to quit smoking. Good for you. Keep it up. Yep. It's good to do, man. It's good to, you know, take care of yourself in that. Yep. Good. Again, yeah, it's good to take care of yourself, man. If you're someone that's trying to lose weight, good for you, man. You're taking big steps just to lose weight. If you're trying to quit smoking, keep it up. If you're just trying to eat healthier, then yeah, man, awesome. Have to restart my PC. Yeah. I don't smoke inside though. I'm currently in a shed. Yeah, air purifiers are good to have. Especially if you like, just live in a really dusty environment, they're good to have too though. Is that the one parameter that I'm looking for? Nope. Is this one? Yep. This is one I'm looking for timing. Let's do 900, 800. That's a good buy for a 3600, man. Yep, that's the main thing. If you can keep your PCs clean. My daily, it's been my daily for years, and I take it apart a lot. So that's why it always looks messy in that, because I just take apart my PCs too much. I overclock a lot, right? So I do DDR4, DDR5, DDR3. So like I'm always switching out PCs. I'm always taking out motherboards out of cases, put them in, or not even put them in cases. Yep, I also wash my PCs too. I wash them with water, dry them nice and quick so they don't get any kind of like spots too. If you can wash them with bottled water, it's better. Should give you a decent performance there, Mo. We're working on it. It's doing some codes, running through a bunch of things. 3.1's good to see. Maybe. Yeah, a little higher base clock. That's good. I don't turn on my PC for months. Does dust get inside it? Yeah. If you have like open air on the top, dust will still get in it. That's why having a static pressure setup for your fans is better. A lot. Yep. A lot. But you also gotta want static fans, not high airflow fans. Well, there will still be high airflow, but static pressured fans. So denser fan blades. Yeah, a lot, a lot. Before I had those air purifiers, my PCIO would all get dirty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It helps. All those tabs. No, no dabs. Only dabs that I do is putting flux onto my components that I'm soldering. Alright, I'm back here. I'm back. We back. We're back in black. Alright. Ooh. Search. Advanced mode. I want advanced mode, please. Actually, let's see. No. No. Let's not do that. What is this gaming one? Crap. This is for gaming. Let's do 56, 52, 120. Go over some things. Everything looks okay. Voltages are at what? 1.5, 1.515. That's good. I just run real here. You don't unlike me. You can get fairly decent priced air purifiers. I don't know. Dave here is saying it's 7 degrees, 45% humidity right now. So I'm running some really cool air. So cool, my hands are getting cold. I'm going to turn on the heated jacket. Boom. Let's stay warm. If you're new to the stream, welcome. If you're new to the channel, also welcome. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you have any questions, let me know. My room on most days is hot. Dave is wild. Dave is always happy. I don't get how he's so happy all the time. It's okay. If he's happy, I'm happy. I gotta stay happy because we gotta get these dubs. We gotta get these wins. We gotta get these records. All about this competition until December 20th. Is the world competition. So the World Cup 2024 for hardwarebot.org if you're new to the stream or new to the channel. Started November 1st, ends December 20th. Imagine if we slowly transition to cyborgs. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get her done. We gonna be able to do it or no? 3 1's okay to see. Just looking at codes. 34, 3A, 7A, 6E. Nope. Not happy with it. Oh yeah, right. Calm down there, camera. Calm down. Calm down. That's right. Calm down. Everything's gonna be alright. Hopefully we can get this going here. Yeah, right? Calm down, camera. Taking it sweet time. Camera might be getting kind of cold too, so it takes a bit longer to focus. It's not like in these timings, I think. 7800's no problem, but for some reason it's not like in the timings. The timings are fairly loose in my opinion too, so. No, not liking it. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine. fine. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be alright. Get the other clip. No like seeing 54 code, so let's get a restart again. Oh, back to being an angel. That's right, I'm an angel. Just gonna redo some timings. Go back into the low profile. Figure out what's going on with it. Just trying to get over 14,000. Trying to get 15,000 on the memory multi for Geekbench 3. It's one of the tests. I have a long time for the competition to figure stuff out, but ooh, if I can actually get 8,000 up working, like stable throughout all the tests I need to do, it's awesome. I can get 8,000 working on this 4-dim board, but I don't have any profiles set or saved from when I did do it. So that's the only thing. I don't have any profiles saved. Which is fine. It's fine. Let's put this up to 38. Put these two, this one to 48. Put this one to 60. Put this up to steady 6. Oh, that doesn't work for me. Steady 600. Put this up to 20. And we'll put this up to 20 as well. Should help stabilize some things. T-mod needs to be about, I'll put 62. 60 usually works. That 18. That one 18. The rest should be fairly good. That's 24. 22 is fine. 20 is fine. 34 is pretty high, so it should be 8 for that. And we'll put this up to 58. No, we'll go 60. Just to help stabilize things. We're going to be trying to get 8,000 after this loads in. Voltages are still 1.45, so we'll do 1.5 and 1.5, because again, we're going to try to go for 8,000. That is our goal. Been talking about too much stuff this stream. Not focusing on the competition that I generally don't even stream, so. Hopefully here in the near future I'll be into liquid nitrogen, so be definitely going after some pretty high records. Nice PC. Oh, that's the 1080 Ti you're saying. Nice. It's just a 2-fan model, but still nice. I'll be doing another shout out here in a second. Six one. We're gonna hit 6.6. Let's go. So we should be good now. Hopefully it's stable enough. Nope. Not stable enough. TRFC might not be high enough. I could probably raise more voltage too. But what I'm going to do is get a better, higher powered fan and put it on the RAM stick since I don't have one on it right now. And the RAM fan that I like to use is a Corsair magnetic levitating fan. It's very, very fast, moves a lot of air. Oh, we're almost in BIOS, so we gotta wait. There we go. Oh yeah, it moves there. Absolutely crank. Let's go. There we go. Nice. Has some pretty good frames, man. Pretty good frames, I'd say. Oh. Oh. Yeah, okay, calm down. You're gonna be good. There we go. There, we got fan on the RAM, so that should help things a little bit too. I mean, they're not like they're getting hot. It's literally 7 degrees right now. But the cooler you can get them, the more frequency you can usually get out of them. It's only on air though. They are copper modded though. Try to copper mod as much as I can, just because if I'm staying on air with it, I'll copper mod it. Helps keep things cool, which way the actual temperature is a lot better. Let's just do 45, 45. Nope, crashed again. Probably have to raise the actual voltage more on the RAM there. Raise the voltage on the RAM, it'll be a bit happier too, probably. 1.5 volts. Not terrible timings either. So I want to make sure it's stable enough and get into operating system, do a bunch of stuff with the 7800, and that will help make sure I can get up to 8000 a little easier. I gotta figure out what tote is all my voltages and timings for 8000. There's a lot, I have a lot of stuff written down on notepads and just pieces of paper I've saved over the years. And all the hours I've put into RAM overclocking, so it's good to do. That looks fine. The command train, don't really care about that. What I care about is late trip latency, turnaround timing, that's probably all I'm gonna need. Let's go 38, 46, 46, ooh, 46. And let's put this down to 48. Hope you have a good night. Well, I definitely will. We're going to have fun on this one still. That should be alright. Let's put in 1.55 volts though. It's about as high as I'll go for the VDQ. Should need to. Should. Not saying it is, but should. Is it making my phone blow up here? I should turn off vibrate. Another thing you guys can do with the RAMs too is figure out what one's your better stick of RAM, and put that one closest to the CPU, because the way that the trace goes to the RAM and that, the closer to the CPU, the more of a zigzag it has, which causes some sort of interference as well. So you gotta put your best stick closest to the CPU and your farthest stick away from the CPU, because that one's just a straight line. That will actually help your RAM overclocking as well. Still not liking me. See if I can just enable the XMP voltages, so that way it can help me out. Take away the voltage set. Might help. Might help. Not saying it will. But probably won't be streaming for much longer, to be honest. My hands are getting cold. Okay, oh, back to being a... Oh, my bad. Yeah, it is cold Canadians, man. Yeah, it sure is. To be honest, I just can't wait till it's actually colder. The dampness is the only thing that kills me, man. It's just 45% humidity at 7 degrees. I got the heated jacket on, like I'm warm, but my hands just can't handle this dampness. Seriously can't. How's your back doing? Come on, C66. Ooh, that's never good. Never good. Yeah, we did hit 6.6. It's nicer when it doesn't make any noise. Mine's been feeling a lot better, to be honest. Still sore in the morning, but throughout the day it's a lot nicer. To be honest, if I set to Windows 10 too, my stripped down Windows 10, this would help too. It would definitely help. Do you find putting any heat on it helps, or not really? Oh, we're doing it. 6.6. Let's go. Hopefully I can make it into Windows. Hopefully make it into the operating system. If I get any hotter... that's no good. I need you to stay around there, buddy. Page fault, non-page area, RAM. Did you figure out the Wi-Fi? So usually once you get Bluetooth working, you get Wi-Fi working. Go. Here we go. Timing should work. It's gotta not be liking the voltage I'm giving it. 1.9 works fine on that. Just keep that to auto. That's fine. Should probably check. See if there's anybody else on my stream. It's actually been a pretty good stream, to be honest. Had quite a few viewers a while ago. It's always nice to see. Oh, I would like to see if I can get gear mode 4 working though. Gear mode 4 would help solve a lot of issues. It's DDR5 gear mode 4 is just seems to be impossible unless you got god tier stuff basically. Basically. 6-6. See if gear mode 4 will. Nope. Nope. Just not liking me at the end of the stream once again. Beginning of the stream, 70-100, no problem. Throughout it, and then I started doing things for other people, and it just does not seem to want to work again. I'm just gonna try something though. Just gonna try something. Yeah, I'm just gonna try something. Keep everything on auto. Just put that to gear mode 4. And see. I'll even disable hyperthreading. And disable the E-cores. Let's see if that does anything. Probably not though. I'm gonna say no. Oh, he just had to redo Windows. Well, that's good. That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes a reinstall can fix some things. Like I said, I've gotten old Mac GPUs working on PC. People are like, well, like that doesn't make sense. How do you get that working? Well, you can. There's always a way around things. Sometimes you just gotta delete certain portions of Windows or reinstall certain stuff, and it'll finally click. Glad that's all you had to do, though. Didn't have to find some BIOS out there that was made by somebody and hope worked. Those are always sketchy to do. At least in my opinion. Five four, eh? What's a code 5.4? Gear mode 4 is just new. Even on stock settings, only on P cores, I know hyperthreading, it still doesn't want to work. Seems like it's only you have to manually tune it gear mode 2. Now there's a certain kit you can get that gear mode 4 actually works on. I found all my kits don't work on it. Channel 1 code, eh? It makes sense. It does make sense. So, kick this back to the BIOS here. Let's just set this to 8,000. Let's just get rid of gear mode 4. See if it'll work on that. Probably not. If it does, I'll be quite shocked, because I know I had to use my own timings. Something like cast latency 48, TRFC over 1,000, which is absolutely crazy loose for TRFC, especially for Hynix M die, just to get 8,000 working. Welcome to the stream if you're new to the stream, and welcome to the channel. If you like overclocking, then this channel's for you. Currently working on 8,000 megatransfers per second on Hynix M die. It's for the competition, World Cup. If you have any questions, please let me know. So I probably won't be streaming much longer, as it is getting fairly chilly, and I'm getting quite cold. I like seeing 3-1. Code 3-1's good. Checking, and a pass. I hear you, man. Yeah, it's getting late. Tomorrow is Monday. Mondays suck. 6E? 6-6? SC. Of course. So close. Yeah, maybe I'll end the stream here then. I'll just have to put my big boy pants on here. Get rid of that filter. There we go. Get my big boy pants on here. If you're just joining the stream, sorry, this is the end of it. You'll have to rewatch it. There's a lot to learn from this stream. Again, thank you to my donators. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to everyone that watches my videos, my streams. To the people that have been watching it since the start, especially you, Hart, there. Always here. It's nice to see. If you want to go to Discord channel, we got a Discord channel. Just go hit that link and it should bring you right to it. There'll be people greeting you there. Channel's starting to get pretty big. Community's starting to get pretty big. Thanks, man. Yeah, no, again, thank you, man. You're always here, always supporting the channel. Alright, again, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to get her done.